You know, with all the foreign wars and situations going on around the world, with the Democrats basically deciding, hold up, we don't like who we voted for and who won the election, so therefore we're going to do domestic terrorism across the country to prevent you from deporting people. I really thought that the winds would slow down, but it seems like the winds are only speeding up. We got handed an insane Supreme Court W today, the likes of which I didn't expect to see. We got our enemies, or I'm sorry, my bad, our close allies like Germany and England, close allies with very similar civilizational fabrics based on Islamic culture. Oops, did I say the quiet part out loud? Well, they basically turned on us and stabbed us in the back, and they are finding out big time. They're both begging for assistance right now, and Trump blasted both of them. Meanwhile, the war that's supposedly going really badly for Trump, according to every single news source coming out of the absolute moron media, we're literally exporting, we're the #1 oil exporter in the world right now, and we've never exported this much oil literally ever. The winds keep coming. I don't know what happened, but I look around and no one actually covers the actual W's that goes on. We're literally living in a pessimistic environment of people that get views off negativity, but unfortunately, toxic positivity is what we do on this channel, so lock in, boys and girls, crazy deep dive, and all the things. We cover it in the least homosexual way possible, I warn you. So when terrorists die, I actually think that's awesome. I know, I'm supposed to be gay about it and be like, oh no, the port. No, actually, I think it's awesome. All right, let's see what we got. The Atlantic published an article, Napoleon, Caesar, Alexander the Great, and Trump, always the self-aggrandizer. The president now speaks of himself in historical terms, right? And, you know, the libtards, once again, trying to do their absolute best to make Trump sound fucking awesome. And it keeps working, actually. It's like, wah, Trump is actually doing things. He's a bad guy, almost as bad as inserts the coolest people in all of human history. Yeah, nice try, libtards. You're gonna have to try harder than that. Just in, U.S. oil exports hit a record 6 million barrels per day last week. A lot of people that deny the 6 million number are going to have a hard time denying this one. Wow. So I guess it's like totally over for Trump. Exactly. It's totally over for Trump now that the oil economy is shifting worldwide to benefit the United States tremendously. Short-term pain, long-term gain. That's what they say, but that's literally what's happening right now. Trump is shuffling the deck and the entire world order is shifting. China is not on top. We are actually on top. All right. The retard right, as we call them, that make believe that, no, actually all wars are bad and we should never have wars because war's bad, right? Those guys don't realize what's going on, in my opinion. They want us to pull out of literally every single situation across the world so China can absolutely subsidize it and become the world power. And I actually prefer being that, you know, hegemon of the world because we're awesome, actually, and that's pretty great. Oh, I can't believe Israel is blackmailing Mr. President Trump to sell all of our oil at records. Unbelievable how Israel would do such a thing. Now, we keep getting more wins, actually. The Supreme Court has ruled that the drawing the congressional districts based on race under the Voting Rights Act is unconstitutional, 6-3. Now, this is obvious for every human being on the planet because obviously it's unconstitutional. States across the country have tried for years to literally force the country to set up congressional districts based on race. And obviously, if you do that, then, like, let's say, for example, the black districts would all vote Democrat. And the red districts, oh, well, you have to slice out little portions of them to create your own little blue enclaves to give Democrats power. It's racist as fuck because the Democrats are actually the racist party. They always have been. See slavery, see the KKK, all Democrats. They do all that stuff. You know, they like to pin it on us because they actually can't live with themselves. So this very obviously unconstitutional thing that's been happening in our country for years is finally shut down. Look how insane this is.
Rights Act. Haven't gotten to language that suggests that yet. It sounds like this decision is primarily about what happened in Louisiana. So we'll keep digging through this. But for right now, it's a win for those who were challenging these two minority-majority districts. Now, as we read through this and figure out the broader implications, there were 20-plus districts across the country that would have potentially lined up with this decision. They could be open to challenges that they were drawn on the basis of race, or that it was the primary factor that was used in drawing those districts. Most of those are throughout the South. So we'll look to see if there's enough sweeping language in this particular decision that may have a domino effect on some 20 other districts. Could be huge for the midterms. We'll continue to read through.
Yeah, just understand the level of W this is. So the left, basically, they call it, it's not racism, it's reverse racism, which is just racism all over again, where essentially, because of racist policies, they'll make these little racist enclaves of these little plantations of black people, sorry to use that term, where essentially they could turn different districts blue and get them, honestly, get them unconstitutional seats in the House, and that's been proven, literally been proven right now, and won in the Supreme Court. You can't pick districts based on race, but these are the retards that sit back and tell us all human beings are equal, all races are the same, all cultures are identical, we have to import infinite Pakistanis, everything's equal, everyone's the same. Anyway, we're carving out special districts for the Somalis so that they could get blue little House seats, so that Ilhan Omar could fuck our country. So this is Donald Trump's reaction to hearing that we won.
Mr. President, thank you very much, Mr. President. I want to go back to the Supreme Court ruling on the Voting Rights Act. I know you said you haven't seen it.
When did it come out? Just now?
No, it came out this morning, but basically very much narrows the Voting Rights Act.
Was it considered a win for
Republicans?
Was it a win for Republicans?
I love it.
But my question,
I love it.
This is a very
All I
good.
need
Look
to
at
know.
this conversation. I want to read it.
my question
Wow.
for you, Mr. President.
That's all I needed to know. It's a win for Republicans. I don't care. And look how fucking mad they are. So this is Sunny Hostin from the View, furious that we're not racist anymore when we're building our congressional districts.
Alito argued that the vast social change has occurred throughout the country, and particularly in the South, indicating that racism no longer exists in this country. I can tell you, as a black woman,
Okay.
that my father was born in 1949. He remembers segregated schools. He remembers segregated water fountains. He
And?
remembers that he did not have full civil rights. And
Yeah, but now he does, so shut the fuck up. That's my stance. I have very good stances on things, I've noticed.
he told me when I turned 40 years old that I was the first person in his family to enjoy full civil rights. And he is still alive today.
Wow.
And I am still alive today.
Wow.
And I have been discriminated against. And now I have to tell my...
Everyone's been discriminated against. Shut the fuck up. Discrimination is part of life, all right? And I'm tired of making believe it's a bad thing. Man, in this context, it sounds like it's a bad thing, but discrimination is awesome, actually. All right, you discriminate what school you send your kids to. You discriminate what streets you walk down, if they're safe or not. You discriminate what foods you want to eat or don't want to eat based on taste or nutrition. Discrimination is survival. Of course you got to discriminate. Now, she's probably talking about racial discrimination, which is also based as fuck. Listen, guy, when I see a Christian on a bus saying Christ is king, I'm not immediately clutching my pearls. But when I see a fellow screaming Allahu Akbar, I have a very different response. And now you can say that that's racist. I disagree. It is discriminatory, though, and it's fucking awesome, actually. I'm tired of cucks. And mostly women. Let's be honest. It's mostly women in society that are trying to convince you that it's bad to discriminate. Discrimination is how you survive. I'm so tired of this garbage. Not saying that we should have separate water fountains or shit like that, but like, come on, dude.
My children, that they have less civil rights than I did when I was born.
That's true.
That is disgusting.
Literally cry about it. Cry about it more. It's like we want equality, but we don't actually want equality. We want to create our own little plantations where we could siphon votes off the bad white people through scams and flim-flams. All right, that's what you're trying to say, okay? This has nothing to do with discrimination, all right? This is the anti-discriminatory process, saying that white people and black people will be treated equally, and therefore you can't have race-based districts in order to steal votes, which is essentially what the left has been doing for years, all right? So that is what we're saying, all right? It is, you literally have equal rights to white people. What you want is more rights than white people. Many such cases.
Despicable, and I am devastated.
Oh my God, I hope she cries.
By this particular Supreme Court
maybe she'll cry. That'll be awesome. That'll solve everything. Oh my God, a woman's crying. Tear up the Constitution.
decision, even though we did know this was
Cry.
coming.
I think she should cry about it, honestly. I feel like that'll be very effective. She should cry. That would be great. Chuck Schumer, retard extraordinaire of the lib cucks. The Supreme Court has turned its back on one of the most sacred promises in American democracy, the promise that every voice counts. What are you fucking talking about? They're not taking votes away yet. I mean, I hope we do. I hope that we use democracy to vote at democracy and go back to our republic roots and actually create some sort of structure where only like net positive taxpayers or something could vote. I absolutely. But unfortunately, we didn't get there yet. All right. In the meantime, unfortunately, every retard's voice still counts. Man, my videos are very real, I've noticed. My statement on the Supreme Court's decision dealing a devastating blow to the Voting Rights Act, it doesn't deal a devastating blow to fucking anything. It's like, oh no, we can't scam our way through elections anymore. Literally fucking cry about it. Oh my God. Leader Schumer's statement on Supreme Court decision dealing devastating blow to voting rights. Washington. Today, Democrat leader Chuck Schumer released the following statement in the Supreme Court's ruling that weakens the Voting Rights Act through their decision on the Louisiana congressional map. Today, Supreme Court turned its back on one of the most sacred promises in American democracy. The promise that every voice counts. Whose voice doesn't count now? Whose voice does not count now? What he means is we're not going to have special black districts that always vote blue. That's what he's saying. Right? And it's insane that he just lies. Like, look at how he uses language to lie to you. A law written in the blood, sweat, and sacrifice of Americans who marched, fought, and died for the right to vote to prevent racial discrimination has been diminished once again. How? How? This is not racial. This is literally the opposite of racial discrimination. This means that a black voice counts as much as a white voice. Equally, actually. You're just crying about it because you can't gerrymander your way racially in order to create these little blue enclaves in red areas. It's so obvious. The consequences as clear as dangerous, fewer protections for voters, more power for politicians to draw maps that silence them. What the fuck are you talking about? Particularly voters historically disenfranchised. This did not happen all at once. For years, the court beginning with Roberts and blah, 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 yada, yada. Democracy is in danger. And this is the language everyone uses. If Trump is a threat to democracy, I guess we have to kill him, right? So again, this is the funny thing. When people say there's violent rhetoric on both sides, all right, Trump's violent rhetoric is, I'm going to kill fanatical apocalyptic clerics in Iran that rape goats and children. All right, that's Trump's violent rhetoric. All right, the left's violent rhetoric is Trump is a threat to our country. We have to kill him now to get him out. We can't vote him out. He's an authoritarian, right? It's not like you can just beat him in an election and he'll leave, right? Anyway, so again, that's why the rhetoric is not one-to-one at all. Y'all literally designed a political plantation for black vote cattle in Louisiana. Go fuck yourself. All right, this is what they're fighting against. They created this absolute bullshit centipede district over here, which is the black communities, because they know that they tend to vote blue. And I'm sorry, every vote counts means we should do it like this. I don't know, a box here, and then a box here, then a box here. But what the fuck is this? This isn't a normal district. They just literally set it up this way in order to rig votes going their way. Race-based rigging, and that shit is crazy. As they say in England, it niggles me. In this context, that sounded very inappropriate, but we're going to roll with it. So this is Chicago Mayor Johnson talking about how he actively discriminates against white people on a policy level. You see, this actually is illegal.
Very intentional about making sure that my administration, unlike previous administrations, have people who work for me that reflect the community. Once upon a time, just to be very blunt with you, 2 administrations ago, 70% of the mayor's administration were white men.
Yeah, because most of the people in the country are white men. So that makes a lot of sense, actually. 70% of the people working there were white men. Yeah, most of the people in the country are white. That makes a lot of sense, yeah.
Right, and that's just not a diversified approach.
What the fuck does that even mean? Not a diversified approach. What are we even talking about? How many white men are in public office in fucking India? 0, because there really isn't that big of a white man population in India. I can't possibly wrap my head around why, but that's just not the case.
Been very intentional.
So this guy is directly stating he is disenfranchising and discriminating against white males when it comes to hiring processes on a citywide scale. This is racism. Obviously, this is discrimination. This fucking plantation for cattle voters, this is racism too. This is saying that, well, we need special race-based borders in order to rig votes. Nah, bro. And the left is all saying this is a threat to democracy. We're disenfranchising voters. And they never actually explain the problem because they know the average retard voter isn't actually going to look into what actually is going on. But they'll just roll with it. Oh my God, Trump is disenfranchising voters. Guess we have to kill him. I guess, right? So Trump made this tweet. Hakeem Jeffries just called the Supreme Court of the United States an illegitimate court. This is a low IQ individual who should not be allowed to talk that way about one of the greatest institutions anywhere in the world. He should withdraw this statement immediately. President Donald J. Trump. Bro has been nuclear. This is like the ultimate rage bait, by the way. Now, the reason why Donald Trump is one of the best to ever do it is because Trump shits on the courts all the time when they vote against the way he wants. And every time he does it, you get every single leftoid, shit lib, leech on society showing up, coming out of their mother's basement with their whore and second mistress. They walk out and they say, Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. He hates the courts. That's how dictators talk. All right. So now the courts obviously vote something in our favor, and every leftoid is talking about how it's unconstitutional. Really? Really? You're going against the court? You don't believe in due process? You don't believe in the way the court works? Wow. Wow. They're the greatest institutions of all time. Excellent rage bait, Mr. President. Fantastic work, as always. Now, Trump, in that same meeting, where he heard about the Supreme Court, he had one of his all-time moments. I'm just saying, man, I don't know how Trump keeps doing it, but this dude's on a generational run.
Over here, you heard that question with those beautiful ears of yours?
Did you hear that question with those beautiful ears? Look at those beautiful ears.
He's got great hearing now. He's got super hearing.
He's got super hearing. And it zooms in on his face. No!
What's the answer to that?
I think the answer to that is we're
Wow, look at him with this super hearing. God, he's the best to ever do it. He really is. Now, Marco Rubio's also been cooking, right? So, you know, there's obviously that joke that Rubio takes every single position ever, that every single job ends up on Rubio's lap. So recently, Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary of the United States, is on maternity leave, or rather, she's about to give birth. So she's gone. So Rubio walks in to take her job.
No, I'm just here to take a quick picture. Okay. Now they're gonna ruin my joke. You guys can't put this out. Is that okay?
Okay.
It's a joke. I know. I'm not gonna pretend, but today I'm gonna pretend.
He's pretending to have her
You
job.
guys hold it for at least an hour.
Yeah, anyway, obviously hilarious stuff. Now, the ads coming out of the Republican side have been fire lately too, because they're just not like us on the other side.
This is where Mayor Bass lives. You notice something? Or here, where Nithya Raman's $3 million mansion sits. They don't have to live in the mess they've created where you live.
Yeah.
This is where I live. They let my home burn down. I know what the consequences of failed leadership are. That's why I'm running for mayor. For my sons and the rest of us Angelinos that want to stop these corrupt politicians from destroying our city. We are going to get the golden age of Los Angeles back.
Damn. And it's like, they not like us has basically just become an incredible tagline, because the left actually just wants to kill us. And we're like, hey, we don't want to die. And it's like, what? I can't believe you would go so far. But this is like an astronomical W. Astronomical.
Folks, so there it is. In a 6-3 decision, the Supreme Court has essentially ruled the Voting Rights Act, race-based districting, specifically black districts, as being unconstitutional. The decision comes in this case, Louisiana versus Calais, but as everybody understands here, it's got far-reaching impact.
The Supreme Court just issued a ruling on a potentially groundbreaking redistricting case that could impact, for many years to come, the power of minority voters in this country. It focuses on
which, by the way, is unconstitutional. Like, again, I don't give a fuck if you're a minority voter. It doesn't mean your voice should count more than mine. I'm sorry. That shit's ridiculous.
Constitutionality of Louisiana's congressional map and how it was redrawn. The justices determined if Louisiana lawmakers properly balance constitutional and Voting Rights Act protections. I want to get straight to CBS News chief legal correspondent Jan Crawford, who has been reading through the opinion. Jan?
Well, Major, we just got this ruling within the last couple minutes. The justices in a 6-3 vote, a decision written by Justice Samuel Alito for the other 5 conservatives, are striking down a second majority black district in Louisiana, ruling that state officials focused on...
What if black people lose their votes? They're not. They could still vote. They still vote. You know, we're just actually, we look at all people as people. We are race blind. We're anti-racist, actually. What are you talking about? When I saw Derek Chauvin on George Floyd's neck, I saw it as a black man killing a white man, actually. Okay, that sounds actually pretty racist, I'm not gonna lie. What I saw was a staged event from the left. No, that's how we have to operate. It was staged, actually.
On race, and that amounted to an unconstitutional racial gerrymander. Now, this decision is a major one under the Voting Rights Act. It will go well beyond Louisiana. It's going to make it, based on what we're seeing so far, it will make it harder for state officials to draw up these so-called majority-minority districts, which have been used.
That sounds stupid, and that's because it is.
for decades and have increased black representation and minority representation in Congress. And it also, I think, will call into question about a dozen or so existing majority minority districts, mostly in the South. Now, those districts, as you know, Major, have been a way for Democrats to pick up seats in some of those states, those red states in the South.
It's a red state. It's like 90% red, and then they'll make these fucking squiggly-ass lines and be like, oh, a blue district.
So this ruling is a win, I think we can say, for Republicans.
And so essentially, I mean, to sum this up, it's not going to happen overnight, but basically the congressional map of the South is going to go from looking like this to now probably looking something more along the lines of this. And this is by and large a good thing. Of course, the Democrats are going to...
Literally look at this shit. This is a district. They made this a district because it's like, oh, well, black people live here, 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 here. So therefore, and then they get votes. That shit's crazy. That is insanity. Like, what the fuck is this? What is this? What is this? What are these squiggly ass lines, bro? What is this? That's a district?
Suggest that it's some sort of corruption of the process, but it's really not that complicated. You know, you're going to be hearing all these fancy legal analyses, blah, 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 but at the end of the day, it's very simple. It is simply unconstitutional to draw districts based on race, and that's what...
Which is so fucking obvious. It's so obvious, actually.
Democrats have been doing. They've been gaming the system for decades. I think Louisiana is the best example. Just look at this absolute monstrosity that goes through the state. It looks like the damn Nile River. Just visually, the map is an abomination. And basically, that's because Democrats came in, they took a marker to the map and said, okay, well, here's where all the blacks' people live, drew a massive barrier around all of them, and then allocated 2 seats specifically based on race. If you believe in the fundamental principles of the Constitution and the way that it is currently written, well, this is simply wrong, and it's counterproductive. It's regressive to create.
It's also racist as fuck. Let's be real. It's racist. It's like saying, well, these people are more likely to vote for Democrats because we pander to, I don't know, poor people or criminals. And oh my God, black people are more likely to be. And then they do this shit to basically rip you off, and that's what's going on. And it's heartbreaking. It really is. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievably unconstitutional. And I think, and this is a really hot take, it incentivizes the government, the leftoids, to meddle with these communities to make it more likely and easier for them to fall into traps of committing crime. And they put hard drugs in these communities, and they socially manipulate them in order for them to, you know, vote left. And it's insane, and it's really sad. And, you know, conservative black people in the country are some of the fucking most goated people in the entire nation. They really are, because they managed to break out of an actual systematized brainwashing campaign. And that's how the left operates. My bad. That's how the left used to operate. The Supreme Court was like, you guys are racist as fuck. And it is very, very fun watching all the retards crying about it, talking about how we're silencing black voices. Silencing black voices? They're still voting. We're just not actually treating them like vote cattle like the lefts do, because that's essentially what these people are to the leftists. That's why they bring in infinite retards from the third world and plop them around the country in strategic areas to get their votes, because they are vote cattle. The left doesn't actually procreate. They don't have children. They abort their babies. So, well, obviously they have to bring in their vote cattle from the third world and plop them around strategically in little fucking snake ass looking squiggly line districts in order to steal votes. Well, not anymore, motherfucker. The winds keep rolling in. Now, the left areas in the entire country are absolutely freaking out right now for multiple reasons. Not only is the Supreme Court voting in our favor now, which is very awkward for these guys, but also they're all broke.
New York City faces a budget crisis of a historic magnitude.
What? You elected a communist and you're in a budget crisis of a historic magnitude?
We inherited a deficit larger than any since the Great Recession. Years of mismanagement and chronic
years of mismanagement, guys.
Budgeting, alongside a structural imbalance between what New York City sends to the state and what we receive in return.
I love how this bro, literally, he walks into office, he's like, we're just going to tax everyone for way more money, and he's like, yo, we're out of money, and it's not my fault. It's not my fault.
Have taken a toll. We cannot close this deficit with savings alone. We need new revenue.
Oh, so you know what the solution is? Getting more money. Let's freaking go, boys. Colossal W, leftoids. You voted for this, New Yorkers. I'm sorry, man. That sucks.
And we need a structural reset in our relationship with the state. That is the only way to meet our legal obligation to pass a balanced budget, and to do so without imposing a financial burden onto the backs of working people.
Which you are doing, which is why people are leaving New York at a historic rate.
I'm glad to partner.
I love how literally these people elected some Muslim communist to be the mayor of New York City, who swindled the entire country to redistribute the wealth from white people and Jewish people that are actually making up the wealthier communities in the actual city, and redistributing that to the fucking inbred retards brought from the third world. Communism is a giant hoax to take money from the whites and give it to the browns. This might come off as a controversial take, but you will notice.
Speaker Menendez, we call upon Albany and deliver a balanced budget. Together, we are...
Please give me more money. Everything is bad now. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Budget crisis is astronomical. Very sad stuff. Now, Zoran, everything will be free. 4 months later, Zoran, so we ran out of money. Wow, I guess you can't make everything free if you have no money. Wow, that's really awkward. I can't believe this, actually. I thought if you just made all the things free, you wouldn't need money in New York. Isn't that the dream? Anyway, Zoran Mamdani, Moron Zamdani over here, Zoran Mamsrani, absolute fucking retard, decided, hey, if I speak to King Charles during his visit to the United States, I know what I'll ask.
And that's what I'm really looking to do at that event.
So you haven't thought about anything you might say if you say hello to him and he stops?
Well, I didn't think about it because I do my thoughts in the shower, and I haven't taken a shower this year yet.
To chat?
You know, if I was to speak to the king separately from that, I would probably encourage him to return the Kohinoor diamond.
Okay. Thank
King, you must return the Kohinoor diamond to India, Mr. King. Mr. King, please. This diamond should not be in England. It should be in India. Well, I don't think Zoran Mamdani should be in America. I think he should be in Uganda. Look, man, I think that England could come up with a really good idea here. We'll give the Kohinoor diamond back to India, but we'll also give all our Indians back to India. I feel like that is something that people could definitely be looking into to see if that works out. Man, I think that's probably why Zoran Mamdani is so happy that the Arabs decided to give Palestine to the Jews. Colossal W, Jews. Anyway, so New York keeps going with the virtue signaling. New York authorities have returned over 657 stolen antiquities valued at $14 million to India. All right? What are we even talking about? These stolen antiquities are conquered antiquities from hundreds of years ago when India was part of the British Empire. All right, so like this decolonization shit is hilarious. It really is, because these people are all fucking retards. These people want to import infinite retards from the third world to colonize Western countries while simultaneously, while raping the Western countries, make sure the Western countries decolonize themselves and give shit to India. Do you understand the level of retard that we're dealing with? You know how many billions of dollars in the West, in America alone, is being spent every single year on Indians? On Indians that are here in our country on welfare or whatever? Do you know how much money is spent on shit like that? I think we paid for these fucking antiquities many times over, in fact. Now, checking in on Zoran achievements so far. Killed dozens of homeless people by ending homeless sweeps during horrific blizzard. Returned hundreds of ancient antiquities to India. Budget crisis. Woo! Let's go, baby! That's Zoran Mamsrani. That's our guy. Now, of course, this happened in New York yesterday. This is a normal thing to do. This is a man setting himself on fire, triggering an explosion in Queens. 12 injured, 7 police officers. Motivation unknown, by the way. I don't want you to speculate. Who could possibly have done the suicide bombing in New York, in Queens? Who could possibly be doing this? I don't know. I don't know. It probably has nothing to do with the Muslim mayor. Probably. Suicide bombing? I can't think of a single race or nationality or even religion that advertises shit like that. Now, I'm just going to tell you the name of the person that blew himself up. I don't want you to come to any conclusions. His name was Anrup Parasram. Sounds like a straight white Christian male, if you ask me. I mean, obviously, I don't know, but sounds that way. Anyway, this is a religious leader, Tajul Islam. He was charged for allegedly sexually abusing multiple girls in his Jamaica, New York mosque. That's right, New York imam guy gets cooked. New York City religious leader allegedly sexually abused 10-year-old girls inside mosque. This is very surprising because there's no parts of the religion of Islam that actually endorses something like this. I wonder if anyone fell for that. Damn, that's crazy. Anyway, there's been other arrests from ICE as well. For some reason, people aren't mad about this one, but I think this is awesome. ICE, HSI, and the U.S. Marshal Service arrested this guy over here, Farkash, a foreign fugitive from Israel, who is wanted in his home nation for alleged sex crimes against children. So Israel is controlling the United States to arrest Jews that are fleeing Israel. Let's go, ICE. Hell yeah, dude. Every pedophile, they all gotta go. Every single one of them. Every illegal, every pedophile, get them all out of here. I am not gonna lie. I wish there were other countries that were also letting us know when their pedophiles are on the loose in our nations and we could deport them there. That's pretty good. That's pretty good stuff. Wow, love to see it. Now, just to understand the level of takeover that's actually happening from these people, these retard dipshits actually winning elections in our country for some reason. This is absolutely shocking. Texas completely caved to Sharia. This is a Muslim city getting greenlit to be built, a purely Muslim Sharia law-based city in Texas. This is the colonization of our country.
Welcome to Epic 2.0.
Yeah, I don't think I am welcome actually in Epic 2.0.
Is more than just a neighborhood.
Oh, good.
It's a way of life.
Can we put the way of life back in Pakistan where it came from?
Forefront. With
Muslim-only city in the middle of Texas, bro.
single family homes, multifamily townhomes and apartments, senior living, and in the heart a mosque and a school.
Lovely.
Parks for Eid prayer, carnivals, and community events. We ask Allah to help us complete this project.
Yeah, and well, I mean, between Allah and a $14 million donation to Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, from a Pakistani billionaire, it's actually working. I couldn't tell you if it was Allah or if it was the $14 million donation from a Pakistani billionaire to Greg Abbott that had this work out. But it's one of the two. One of the two caused this, and this is the judge who just ruled in favor of the Islamic city in Texas, Judge Amy Meacham. At some point, you're gonna need to start doing your pattern recognition because we shouldn't be having female judges, man. I'm so radicalized on female judges, bro. I really am. Female judges? Nah, dude. Nah, dude. Nah. Minnesota Judge Nancy Brassel sentenced Somali Feed Our Future founder Zamzam Jama, who stole $5.6 million to 6 months in prison. This comes after she gave another Somali fraudster a 1-year sentence.
Was one of the least culpable.
Ms. Jama, do you have any comment?
Judge Nancy Brazel said that Zamzam Jama was one of the least culpable defendants, and she doesn't.
Bro, I don't think that there was anyone named Zamzam Jama that came into the United States on the Mayflower.
Think that she'll see Jama back in federal court for another crime.
Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff, bro. You got to start getting radicalized. Wake the fuck up, man. Get a load of this story. Leftist Judge Tracy Davis just slashed a 65-year recommended prison sentence in half for a rapist because she felt he was a black victim.
But if you were to come in here and instead of being hurt and angry, which is what this court hears, right, as a 20-year-old African-American male.
What are we doing, bro?
That has been, experienced this society, etc., and you would show that, yes, okay, this is the situation. This is who I am. I don't want
This guy's a rapist.
be this person anymore. I don't want to be in jail for forever.
Bro, this guy's a rapist.
Thompson repeatedly stated he did not care, not about his sentence, the victim, or her family. But Judge Davis emphasized she's the one that holds the pen, and regardless of what the media may think, she applies the law.
Nope. Judges do not create the law like this. That's not how it works. They interpret the law, and this shit is insane. Or a woman, again, let me ask you a question. When's the last time you saw one of these stories and the judge was not a woman? This is basic pattern recognition. Correct. Pay attention, man. Literally, what the fuck are we doing? I think at this point, the Overton window has shifted enough for us to acknowledge the fact that different cultures are different. All right, different people are different when they come from different cultures, different races, etc., whatever, yada yada. There are different styles, different inclinations that different people from different places take. Different ethnic groups act differently sometimes. Men and women are different. This is an objective biological reality, all right? And because the media is trying to psyop you forever, for some reason, we have a cartel of female judges that are raping our country, and there's nothing we can do about it, it seems. All right, this is Jasmine Crockett saying that Abbott, the governor of Texas, is like a black person.
when it was a tree that ended up making him a part of the DEI class. Just so y'all know, he is DEI. Yes, because he is uniquely abled, or actually he ain't able, child. Because anyway, whole other.
Yeah, so apparently because he's a cripple, he's just like a black person. They say it. I didn't say it. They said it. Now, this is a based badass over here, all right? Representative Wesley Hunt, all right? He is a Texas congressman, and he fucking dropped a nuke.
There's been a lot of talk how there won't be any black Republican members in the new term.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you make of that?
Nothing. I don't understand how that's relevant.
Is there a problem with like recruitment? Or
I don't think it's a problem with anything. I'm not here because I'm black. I am here because I'm qualified representative.
That is the GOAT right there. The GOAT. That is right. Absolutely. He's there because he's qualified. He's not there because of his race.
For Congressional District 38, and the American people choose who they want to choose. And the one thing I don't want to get into is this game of race bait all day, every day. If there's 4, if there's 10, if there's none. What we are talking about is who is the best person that is best qualified to fill a seat, regardless of the way that they look. And I tell people this all the time till I'm blue in the face. I represent a white majority district that President Trump would have won by over 20 points, and I won by 25 points the last time I ran.
The GOAT? The actual GOAT?
I'm being judged not by the color of my skin.
You mean to tell me that MAGA people aren't racist?
Given by the content of my character. I don't care how many black people are here. I want the most qualified people that are here.
God, he's so fucking based. That's crazy. And the funny thing is, like, you actually engage with these people on the other side, and we're actually dealing with retards. All right, look at this, man. So this is asking if voter ID is racist. All right, here we go.
I like it in here. This is a cool store. You got, have you been, I don't know what's going on back there. That threw me off. Have you been watching the news lately?
No.
They're trying to make people show their IDs to vote. Do you think that's racist?
Yeah, they've been tripping.
I agree.
Yeah, it's racist to need to show your ID to vote.
Can I get the hitter, the purple one, and then the bong?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
You got some ID?
You got some ID? It's so over, bro. Like, we're actually dealing with retards. No one thinks voter ID is racist. They just use these words to control you, which is why the way you break out of the PSYOP is by simply not giving a fuck, dude. You just need to not care about this shit. Let them call you whatever they want. All right, so Brandon Gill had a very viral clip. I showed this recently where he was asking an abortion advocate what her favorite method of abortion is. All right, and he vividly described different types of abortions where they crush baby skulls and dismember them to pull them out of the womb. In the most honestly, it's disgusting because it's barbaric and it's evil, and because there's a gigantic group of people that just murder babies in the country for some reason. And then she was like visibly shocked by the whole thing. So this guy, a foreigner who's more than happy to watch our civilization die, comes into our country, a Congressman Shri Thanader, who says, "Remember, folks, Sorry, my mistake. I need to use a Canadian accent. Remember, folks, Republicans are not the party of creepy men trying to intrude their way into women's private business. They wanted to interrogate you about your favorite abortion method at a national congressional hearing." I don't understand the problem. If abortion is not something to be ashamed of, I don't understand the issue here, unless everyone knows it's barbaric and evil. So he responds, "So which abortion is your favorite? The one where the unborn baby's body is crushed and sucked out with a hose, or the one where the baby is cut apart with a knife? Please enlighten us." And he responds, "My favorite kind of abortion is the kind that is safe, legal, accessible, and none of your damn business to regulate. And no amount of fear-mongering by describing what goes on to a half-ounce fetus with no consciousness, self-awareness, or feeling of pain is going to change that." He thinks that if someone has no self-awareness, you could just kill him. Do you understand what we're dealing with, man? Do you understand the evil that we're dealing with? Politics in 2026. All right, here you got the leftists doing child sacrifice. Oh, look, here comes the far right. There they are again. Unbelievable, honestly. Congressman, are you sure you want to argue that a lack of self-awareness justifies murder? Absolute truth, nuke. All right, so this is the same Shri Thanader, by the way, who was just asked about the beagles he tortured and killed. 118 beagles that he left die in an abandoned lab.
When are you going to stop killing all those beagles?
I know, but why do you kill all those dogs like that? That animal testing, don't you think that's terrible? In your home country, do they eat dogs? Is that why?
That's a good question.
Is that why you like to do those testing on those animals, those innocent animals? Remember you left all those innocent animals? You don't remember that?
I think he remembers. I think he remembers, guy.
He had a bunch of beagles they were doing animal testing on. Real loser.
Yeah, and then he left them to die in his abandoned lab. 118 dogs. Again, these people are not assimilating into our culture. I'm not gonna lie. This shit's insane. All right, and just to understand what leftist policy is. So this is Jennifer Witch. She decided to dress up as Erica Kirk to make fun of her because her husband was assassinated by a leftist. Isn't that cool?
Why can't we at iHip News have crazy camera angles? Why? Why can't we? Why can't we act fucking unhinged? I want to be unhinged for America.
I love how their idea of Erica Kirk being unhinged is she is mourning her assassinated husband in a way that they don't approve of. Leftists being unhinged is when they try to kill the president of the United States and then get celebrated by vast swaths of the left.
I want to be crazy for America. I want to wake up this morning for her.
Yeah, anyway, so again, this is mainstream left, by the way. A lot of people think that, no, it's a couple of radicals. The mainstream left wants you to die and will celebrate your murder and harass your widow and your orphans. This is the mainstream empathetic left that cares about virtue signaling and DEI, and they care about mental health and microaggressions. They would celebrate your murder and harass your widow and children, and this is why they need to be destroyed. Legally, non-violently, we need to obliterate them. Speaking of non-violently, Nick Fuentes, all right, he recently had someone show up to his house. Because he got doxxed, and he beat the shit out of her, which we're going to talk about right now.
So Nick Fuentes had a retard come to his house, and this is what happened.
For context, a stalker was harassing Nick Fuentes last year and posted this infamous video. The same stalker sued Fuentes for assault, and today we got the court ruling plus additional evidence.
All right. I think there's more context, actually. This is after someone showed up to Nick Fuentes' house with a gun and crossbow to try to kill him. All right? Let's just look, man, I don't agree with a lot of what Nick Fuentes says. He wants to vote for Democrats because he's upset that Trump is at war with Iran, so he says that we need to let the Democrats win, which I think is absolutely insane. Complete and utter insanity, whatever. But people are showing up to his house trying to kill him. Like, you don't understand. People, like, HASAN PIKER calls for violence on his stream every single day. All right, Nick Fuentes does not. All right, HASAN PIKER goes on stream, supports every terrorist organization he could think of. He calls for people to do violence against different senators he doesn't like. Someone's got to do it in regards to killing Trump all the time. No death threats, no attempts on his life. You know, thank God. I don't want someone to go out there and kill him in public. If it happens, I would totally understand why it happens, which is what he said about Brian Thompson, who was murdered by Luigi Mangione in public, allegedly. And listen, man, I would totally understand why someone would murder HASAN, but I don't endorse it, and I don't want it to happen. And honestly, it's not happening. He's going around, he's doing all these public talks, these public meetings with different people. No security. He has zero security. It's like, everyone's like both sides, but one side needs security at risk of their life, and the other side doesn't. Isn't that weird?
Hi. Oh my God, what are you doing?
That's right.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's right. Was it legal? No. Was it impulsive? Was it legal? Yes. Was it impulsive and stupid? Probably. Was it fucking awesome? Also, yes. I'm sorry. Look, man, I don't care. These people are showing up to his house. People have tried to kill him. Not acceptable. Get out of here. It's like, oh no, consequences. Now, to be clear, I don't endorse it. I don't endorse crimes or violence. But this was fucking cathartic to watch. He fucking launched that bitch.
Man, immediately, bro, shoves her onto the fucking pavement. The battery charge against him has been dismissed.
Yes.
I'm so happy to see this.
Yeah,
if
same.
you're going to somebody's house to, like, harass them and annoy them, this is what you deserve.
No, but also, it's more than that. It's not just harassing them and annoying them. There is an added context here that I think is really important, and it's that people do this to try to kill you. All right? If it was just harassing people and annoying people, and that was as far as it's ever going to go, you have an argument to make, but that's really not where it is. You don't know if these people are there to kill you. Sorry.
Fuentes also had a literal
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. This happened before. He had a literal, this guy is a serial killer that killed 2 people and then showed up at his house with a crossbow to try to kill him. All right. So again, I would also totally agree that, yeah, shoving her to the floor is actually awesome.
Armed assassin come to his house around the same time.
Yo, Nick! You also missed this going viral from Nick Fuentes. A lot of people are mad.
It's going to be so cooked if the Democrats get back in, presumably.
It really will be. That's why I want a Republican to win. I don't want it to be Vance or Rubio, but a Republican has to win, because what a lot of these Israel-critical influencers do not realize is that the left wants to kill us. Like, they literally want us dead.
Yeah.
And they will work to effectuate that. They want to silence us. They want us debanged, deplatformed.
Right.
And ultimately, they would prefer if we all just died.
Yeah, you see, my stance is even the people that I completely disagree with on the right, they ultimately believe in thou shalt not murder. And the people on the left, they don't believe in thou shalt not murder. They come into this country, you know, half of them are foreigners that come in, that don't even come from a culture where thou shalt not murder exists. All right, at least in America, it's baked into the fabric of our society. All right, it's not baked into the fabric of Pakistan. I'm sorry, it's just not. So my stance is actually, I would, every guy on the right who I disagree with and I think is wrong about many of the things that they say, they're not actively trying to kill us. All right? They're not. And I picked up on this a long time ago. I got Giga canceled because I said, I think Jews are safer next to like mustache twirling groypers hailing Hitler and saying that Hitler was awesome, actually. I think Jews are safer around people like that than around like your average college student at like one of these Palestine protests. That's what I said the entire time, and I stand by it. I think it's just actually true. I got shit for it, but I actually don't care. Your boos mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer.
You have these types like
modern-day neo-Nazi far-right fascists in America are less dangerous than your average libtard college student.
Bilzerian, he says left and right is an artificial divide. It's a
yeah, no, that's crazy.
Construct to keep.
Yeah, but Dan Bilzerian's a fucking retard.
Israel critical voices divided, but it's just simply not true. There is a political left. They're unified by ideology, and to the extent that they criticize Israel, it is strictly within the
playing lip service to it, and
boundaries of their left-wing ideology.
Exactly.
You know, the idea that we're going to paper over those differences and we're all going to hold hands and unite one struggle against Israel, it's just not. It's not practical, and I don't think. And at the minimum, it's overstated. The extent that that's possible. So, you know, it's times like this that remind you, if the left had it their way, they would destroy the right wing.
Thank you. Oh my God, thank you. Like, I get not wanting to vote for the lesser of two evils. Everybody should always make a conscientious decision and vote for what they want. Staying home whenever a candidate doesn't represent you is your right. But at the same time, I'd never vote for a Democrat. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think these guys are all like these accelerationist-minded retards sometimes. Look, I like Asmongold, and bro, you cannot let the left come into power. They will fucking kill you. Yeah, all right? Like, it's so mind-boggling to me that this is even debatable.
Yeah. I will never vote for a person that would disenfranchise me or give another person an opportunity above me based off of the nature of my skin color, my ethnicity, my gender, my sexuality. So if you support that, I will vote against you. One issue thing.
So obviously. And it's honestly pretty insane to watch this go down, where people are actually like, well, I would love to vote for the Democrats because the Republicans like Israel too much or whatever. But the Democrats will literally kill me. So, you know, you're really stuck between a rock and a hard place here, I guess. And after what we've been seeing, with the maximum warfare all over the place, they actually just want you dead. It's honestly insane how many people fell for like the Israel psyop and are going to let our country get raped and destroyed by third world Islamists because they don't like the Jews or something. Again, not trying to water this down into one sentence. Obviously, you can be critical of whatever government you want. Our government, foreign governments, I don't care. I don't like AIPAC or lobbying. I don't like foreign funding, etc., etc. But our alliance with Israel is objectively a beneficial alliance. Objectively, for us. For our science tech, our weapons tech, we have a satellite in the Middle East that basically does whatever we tell them to do. You are falling for the HASAN PIKER Cenk Younger foreigner psyop to destroy your own country because you think one issue is more overstated than it is. So I say this, Benjamin Netanyahu, if you are listening to this video, HASAN PIKER is only 2 weeks away from a nuclear weapon. Please do something. Now, our glorious orange leader has been dropping nukes on England and Germany and the Eurocucks that honestly have stabbed us in the back, even though we helped them with all their stuff. And it's honestly been pretty incredible. So he tweeted, the Chancellor of Germany should spend more time in ending the war with Russia-Ukraine, where he has been totally ineffective, true, and fixing his broken country, true, especially immigration and energy, true, but less time interfering with those that are getting rid of the Iran nuclear threat, thereby making the world, including Germany, a safer place. Now, I saw people recently on one of my videos where I said that it's really nice that our relationship with the European nations is like falling apart. People actually are like, oh, I don't understand. I love the European nations. Why do you like this? And, you know, people get upset at me because they don't realize that when I say things, it comes from a place of absolute cinema. That's where the place comes from. All of these Eurocuck nations, I like the people of these nations. I like what the nations represent, what they're supposed to be, the biblical values that this Christian civilization is founded upon. Oh, I love all that. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I hate the libcuck, leftoid, EU policy garbage that these people have been shoveling down our throats forever. I hate that we are subsidizing 70% of NATO's economy and military while we get absolutely nothing in return. I hate that we're part of the UN where every single one of these libcuck nations votes against us every single time on the most garbage bullshit ever. Everything we do is a war crime. Everything we do is bad. We're built on racism. Slavery happened or something. And I am tired of it. Oh, I like that the United States is the world hegemony, okay? I love that. Don't get me wrong. I don't like being bullied around by retards that need us, and we don't need them. So yeah, actually, fuck these guys. Anyway, that's my very analytical stance. Trump has been dropping nukes, and it's really nice to see.
You talked about possibly pulling out some troops out of Germany. Would you be considering the same thing for Spain and Italy? I mean, they haven't been exactly on board.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I probably will. Why should I, you know, look, why shouldn't I?
Why do we need our people there to help their nations, all right, where our funds are helping these countries, and they will do absolutely nothing in return aside from writing strongly worded letters about how Iran shouldn't have nukes, and strongly worded letters about how Donald Trump cannot invade the sovereignty of a foreign nation that's trying to kill us, and I'm fucking tired of the grandstanding. We can just do things. We are the world power, and if you don't like it, you can call the international law police.
Italy has not been of any help to us.
They've been gay.
And Spain has been horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Communists.
You know, it's NATO. It's not even the fact that they're bad. It's one thing if they said nicely, or if they said, okay, we'll help, but the help's a little slow. But the level, and we helped them with Ukraine. You know, they made a mess out of Ukraine, a total mess. And we helped them with Ukraine. Ukraine has nothing to do. You know, we're an ocean apart. It has to do with them. It's like for them, it's their front door. We help them.
That's right.
And Biden gave them $350 billion, which was insane. It's one of the reasons the war went on. But when we needed them, they were not there. We have to remember that. And so if we ever have a big one, because we didn't need any help with Iran. We had Iran right from the first day. It was over. It was over.
Ooh.
And now it's even more so. We're so locked and loaded if we want to do. But we didn't need the help. And to a certain extent, I asked them, I didn't need the help, but I said, yeah, we'd love to have you help because I wanted to see if they do it.
Oh, shit.
And they in all cases, they said,
they failed.
We don't want to get involved. And
I'm sorry, we're too gay to help you, Mr. President.
You know, the amazing thing is they use the Strait of Hormuz.
I was thinking of helping, and then I realized how much I absolutely love sodomy, so therefore we couldn't be of assistance.
We don't use it. We don't need it. We have a lot of...
I would really be very, very inclined to help you, but then I realized, man, we have millions of Muslims that are in our countries, and we really want them to vote for us.
Oil. And, well, wait a minute. And they use it, we don't. And you would have thought they would have said, we would love to help you. But they didn't.
They didn't want to. They didn't want to, and now the Strait of Hormuz is cock-blocked. These people are crying. It actually affects them way more than it affects us. Everyone crying about the oil crisis this, oil crisis that. It doesn't affect us. America first. We kill those Ayatollah bastards, and unfortunately the Europeans don't want to help, and they're going to actually have some FAFO on the way out. Skill issue. Anyway, so Pete HEGSETH was actually brought in to talk about the war. And he's been dropped. He's insane. He's so fucking good at this. It's crazy. All right, and then I'm going to get into the Eurocuck situation. But first, you have to see this.
I haven't talked about it as much in these hearings, because this is a budget hearing about $1.5 trillion that's historic and significant. But underwriting the change that we've seen at our department was a laser focus on getting back to basics. And the key word to that is merit.
Yeah.
We had a department that was obsessed with gender, ideology, and race, diversity, equity, and inclusion.
That shit's stupid.
In fact, the mantra you would hear dripping from the lips of generals and with a serious look on their face was, "Our diversity is our strength," which is the single dumbest phrase in military history.
The GOAT?
Of course, our diversity is not our strength.
GOAT?
Our unity is our
That's
strength, our shared purpose, the flag we wear, and who we...
Yeah, and we sit here
And the Constitution...
and we wonder why the leftoids hate this guy. And we wonder why the Euro-cuck nations that imported infinite diversity hires hate this guy. I wonder why.
We serve to defend. And when you clear that debris away, whether it's Marxist ideologies or social engineering or political correctness or quotas based on gender and diversity, you get the best of the best rising up, regardless of gender, regardless of race, motivated by that environment where merit reigns. It's accountability, standards, lethality, readiness, training, all the debris wiped away.
God, he's so fucking based for that. He's right. Diversity is not our strength. It's dumb as fuck. Unity is our strength. This shit is so fucking stupid. It's crazy. It's like, it's actually insane. And every single question he's been answering was just I'll just show you one. So Elizabeth Warren is asking him all sorts of questions. Are you being paid by, is it the Jews? Is it the Russians? Who's paying you, right? And he dropped an absolutely insane response.
What I give, what you give, what others give, I'm not looking for money. I don't do it for money. I don't do it for profit. I don't do it for stocks. And that's part of the reason why I'm able to...
Does someone we know do it for stocks? Elizabeth Warren, who's worth $300 million somehow?
Be effective in this job because no one owns me. No one owns this department. No one owns this president. And we can execute for the American people, and we do.
Wait. She has a little crash out because obviously she is corrupt as fuck, in my opinion. Anyway, let's take a look at what's going on across the pond in all the countries that are condemning us and currently getting cooked. All right, so this is a nice looking individual over here. Look at this guy. Oh, wow, he's a mayor. Look at that. A mayor? Wow, a mayor in England. He must be a really wonderful guy. Ex-Labour mayor slammed by judge for helping hide his son's phone after he raped a 15-year-old girl as he jails her for 3 years and locks up her son for 12. Wow. Wow. So you mean to tell me that this mayor is now in jail because this mayor's son is a rapist that this mayor helped cover up? Wow. Seems to me like England is going very well. Now, just to understand what's actually going on in this case, this is a case where a guy drugged a child, this 15-year-old victim, filmed himself raping, slamming, and choking her. He got a 12-year prison sentence where he will only serve 8. His mother helped him hide his phone, and a character witness described her as an advocate for women's rights. Do you understand the level of bullshit we're doing? All right, so we import people that advocate for women's rights. They'll use your liberties against you. Your words are just weapons that they wield to destroy you. All right, that the foreigners that come in want to use to manipulate you, and she will cover up the brutal rape of a child committed by her son. Understand the level of conquered the West actually is getting, and why these people refuse to help us. Wow. Wow. You mean to tell me a country that has this thing as a mayor is actually not willing to help us fight Iran? Terrorist pedophiles? Now, this guy, I covered this in great detail in my video yesterday. Terrible terror attack. Guy slit the throat of 2 Jews in England and London in one of the daily terror attacks that happens there right now. So, this guy, this was new news that came out after my last video came out. I just felt like I had to include it because of how perfect it is. This guy is a Somali immigrant who stabbed 2 Jews, but also has a history of violence, including stabbing 2 police officers and police dog in 2008. And after stabbing those 2 police officers and police dog, they still made him a citizen. And then he stabbed 2 Jews. What are we doing? 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 This is like the suicidal empathy? No, it's just suicide. There's no empathy here. This shit's insane. This is absolute insanity. This is crazy. All right, here's some fun statistics for you. The Nice attack, Muslims. Paris attack, Muslims. Shoe bomber, Muslims. Orlando attack, Muslims. Beltway snipers, Muslims. Fort Hood sniper, shooter, Muslims. Underwear bomber, Muslims. Westminster attack, Muslims. Pulse nightclub shooters, Muslims. 2005 Bali bombings, Muslims. Murder of Lee Rigby, Muslims. USS Cole bombers, Muslims. London Bridge attack, Muslims. Madrid train bombers, Muslims. Charlie Hebdo attacks, Muslims. San Bernardino attacks, Muslims. Surabaya bombings, Muslims. Minnesota mall stabbings, stabbings, Muslims, 7 bombers. It's you see the list goes on. And I think that there is one through line throughout all of these cases that we could find a common denominator, and it's Islamophobia. We really need to be careful about that. So Keir Starmer, he released a whole statement yesterday, which I've already covered, which he basically, you know, sat there like Dobby the house elf saying, "Master, Keir Starmer's lost his cock, master." All right, so, you know, he drops one of these. Yesterday's terror attack wasn't an isolated incident. It's the latest attack on the Jewish community for being Jewish. Attacked by who? Who attacked the Jewish community? You'll notice a very, very obvious absence in every single statement made by the government here. Today I spoke with volunteers, first responders from Shomrim and Hatzalah to thank them for their bravery. I know this is deeply worrying time for the whole community. Who are they worried about? My government is taking immediate action. Action against who? Who are you taking action against? We've increased enhanced funding for police patrols. Oh, good. So the white people's taxes is going to pay for Jewish police officers to protect them from Muslim killers. Wow, what a fantastic solution. Protective security and fast-track legislation to deal with malign state actors. Like who? My message to the Jewish people is you belong here. I don't know, you keep importing the natural predator, and we do everything we can to keep you safe. Except you literally import the natural predator. Like, are we being serious, man? I don't know. If I was living in London, I would move. I would literally leave. I don't know why these people are staying in London. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm sorry, bro. They sold you out. They sold you out. Anywho, and they're all doing this. They all have the same post. Shabana Mahmood, which is a Home Secretary, Member of Parliament in England, you know, the UK's natural threat has been increased to severe. I know this is a source of concern, particularly among Jewish community. Who are they concerned about? We should all be vigilant, reporting any concerns. Concerns about who? And today we've increased funding to protect Jewish community. Oh my God, these people are like actually fucking evil. It's insane. It's actually crazy. Now, this is, I think, one of the most telling moments in British television history ever. So this is right after the horrible terrorist attack where 2 Jewish guys were just stabbed by a Muslim guy for being Jewish. Get a load of this one. This is perfect. This is actually perfect. Watch this shit.
Lady from the Green Party, you just stated that you've seen racial hatred in the country.
Right, so, you know, they'll all be out here and be like, oh, anti-Semitism bad. Right, sure. You're so right for that one, Queen.
Could you please specify where that hatred is coming from?
Where is the racial hatred coming from? Where is it? Fantastic question, sir. Fantastic question. All right, get ready for the worst answer of all time.
Not quite sure what you mean. Do you mean from the general public, or
no? It's from Muslims. I'm sorry if this is gonna hurt your feelings, but 2 Jews were just stabbed by Muslims. Jews were shot in Manchester by Muslims. Jews had synagogues burnt to the ground by Muslims. Churches burnt to the ground by Muslims. Jewish ambulance service volunteers destroyed in a firebombing attack by Muslims. The Holocaust Memorial in England was destroyed by Muslims. So yeah, where is the hatred coming from?
Well, she said there's racial hatred in the country, and I'd just like to know where she thinks it's coming from.
That's a great question. Where's it coming from?
I mean, I was talking about the fact that there is a rise in racially motivated crime, that kind of thing.
Yeah, but specifically against Jews and white people, by the way. Those are the races that are actually affected by the the current environment of racial hatred. By the way, there's almost 0 hate crimes against Muslims in England, by the way, which is a shock.
There's more and more hate crimes. There's more reports of people.
Yeah, hate crimes, like raping white girls and like blowing up Jewish areas, I guess. But who's doing this? Where's the hate coming from?
Feeling uncomfortable, unsafe.
Yeah, but what's making them feel unsafe?
Well, you said there's racial hatred. Where do you think it's coming from?
Okay.
This is a good question, right?
What are you getting at exactly?
What are you getting? No, it's asking you.
Where do you think this racial hatred is coming from?
Great question.
What do you mean? What specific?
See, he can't say it's coming from the Muslim community because they'll put him in jail for hate speech. Welcome to England.
Well, I can actually say that where I think it's coming from is that we live in rip-off Britain and people are having a really, really tough time. They're struggling because their bills are going up. They're struggling because they can't afford their rents.
That's right. They can't afford their rent, so they're stabbing Jews and saying Allahu Akbar before doing it. Right? I can't afford food. I'm going to blow up Jewish ambulances and say Allahu Akbar while doing it.
I actually think this is the reality. They're struggling because food is now so expensive, it's eye-watering. What that means is that there's then a tendency to find someone to blame. And I think that there have been narratives.
Even the people next to her are like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Zia's party is definitely one of these narratives, like the people propagating these narratives, that will point the finger at certain communities to blame them when it is not the fault of those communities.
It's totally not the fault of the Muslim that stabbed the Jews. It's the fault of the economy going to shit because they imported Muslims that don't want to get jobs. It's like wherever you turn, bro.
So I actually think that the economic situation, which is...
You know why the economic situation in England is so fucking shit? It's because they woked their way so close to the sun that they refuse to actually get natural gases and they want to import it from Russia. That's one. And two, it's because they're importing infinite retards from the third world that they pay for their hotels and housing on the British taxpayers.
Disastrous at the moment is a big reason why hate's on the rise. So that's why we need to solve the economic problems. We need to end rip-off Britain, make sure ordinary people are having a better life day to day, not struggling so much. But we also need to really focus on community cohesion and living well together.
Okay, let me...
Information agent, but you're not prepared to pinpoint where it's coming from.
That is correct. They are not willing to pinpoint where it's coming from. And every single person that's been in England for generations is suffering right now because of the same fucking shit. This same issue, and no one wants to talk about it. So this is Mehdi Hasan. He is a British, American, Indian Muslim. Literally the ultimate combo. All right, so this dude showed up to talk about why, actually, Muslims are stabbing Jews in England.
I've spent my entire adult life, my professional career as a journalist, trying to separate the two out. As you know, I'm a very outspoken critic of Israel, and especially this Israeli government and this genocide in Gaza. But I go out of my way to tell people on my side of the argument, do not do that. Do not conflate Jews and Judaism with Israel or even with Zionism. And look, it becomes more complicated because, of course, many people in the Jewish community do support Israel, and that becomes a problem. I think we
It's just a problem, guys. You see, the thing is, since Jews support Israel, of course we're going to have Muslims stabbing them in the streets of England.
We need to be able to have these conversations, but at the same time, all agreeing that violence is never the solution. Anti-Semitic violence is horrific.
Anti-Semitic violence is bad. Anyway, I really hope Hamas goes and rapes a lot more Israelis, but anti-Semitic violence is bad. I support the terrorists that kill Jews, but anti-Semitic violence is terrible. But the Jews that support Israel deserve it, though. Like, bro. This is awesome, bro. Mehdi Hasan talks about the stabbing of 2 Jews in London. Says it's a problem that Jews support Israel. Her skirt was too short. He just had to rape her. Am I right, guys? And again, this is Mehdi Hasan, who just yesterday, he went on a show talking about something pretty incredible.
These days, Tucker Carlson has a big fan base amongst the anti-war left, who see him as saying the right stuff, trying to stop Trump from illegal wars in Iran.
No one cares about legal wars or illegal wars. This shit is so fucking retarded.
And amongst a lot of Muslims and Arab Americans who see him now as this great champion of Palestine. Wherever I go, literally, Hassan, wherever I go in this country, I do a lot of live events.
This is the Tucker Carlson fan base, by the way.
I do a lot of public events. People come up to me, when are you going on Tucker Carlson? When are you going to do an event with Tucker Carlson? Why don't you do a collab with Tucker Carlson? We love Tucker Carlson. Wherever I go. People ask me more about Tucker Carlson, even in my own family, than they ask me about my wife and kids.
It's literally like his family and about his community and his people literally don't fucking care about America whatsoever. They only care about the Muslims conquering Israel or whatever the fuck. Thank you for saying the quiet part out loud. Well, Tucker Carlson, congratulations, my guy. You got the whole Mehdi Hasan family on your side. Anyway, this is Zach Polanski. He's in charge of the Green Party, which is like the woke left and the Islamists that got together to be retarded as friends. Horrendous attack in Golders Green. Thinking of the victims, their families, and everyone who will once again be shaken by this attack. Who did the attack? Who did the attack? All right, thank you for all those involved in the emergency response. Devastating news from Golders Green from Mothin Ali. The prayers with everyone, and we are in emergency indebted to AYATOLLAH for immediate response, yada yada. J.K. Rowling, who's just so fucking tired of this, and this is crazy. She was always against the trans shit. She's actually crashing out on the Muslims this time. Why do leaders of the Greens have such a difficulty naming this particular demographic most likely to be shaken and affected by 2 men from their community having their throats cut out on a London street? Who is doing this, guys? What's going on? Canadian judge Jocelyn Gagné, a woman, probably a coincidence, blocked the deportation of an Indian national who killed 16 hockey players.
Drug driver who killed 16 hockey players.
I think we should keep that guy in Canada. What do you think, guys? Absolutely. A cafe in Berlin does not allow white people to enter now. I'm just showing you the level of cucked Europe is and why it's actually not bad at all that we're not really associated with them anymore.
Bundesfamilienministerin Karin Prien.
It received 700,000 euros in public funding in an anti-white cafe that does not allow white people. That's right. A country built by white people, majority white people, has little special ethnic enclaves for anti-white people. Isn't that awesome? So this is Muslim families bringing their children together to watch a gay man get thrown off a rooftop for his death under Sharia law. I don't think I could actually show you the plop, but you get the idea. It very makes a lot of sense that the leftists are super happy to import these guys. Another day, another church on fire in France. This is the Église Saint-Christiac in Monetac. I don't know how to pronounce any of this shit. And it's on fire. It's so weird. It's so weird how all these churches started getting lit on fire magically right after mass migration started. Wow. Wow. It's probably coincidence. You know what else is funny? And I'm thinking about it now. It's kind of weird that we don't have, like, mosques on fire. It's so weird. Like, you'd think that statistically you'd have churches and mosques on fire at a relatively similar rate per capita, but it seems like that's not the case. What a funny coincidence. So this was the funny story of the day. So this is medical aid on the PR stunt flotilla. All right. So remember Greta Thunberg had her little flotilla that she's going to Gaza on this little flotilla to provide aid to the Palestinians that started a war and lost. And with this gigantic virtue signal from the Islamized left in Europe. All right. Well, this is the medical aid. It's condoms and hard drugs. They searched the boat. The Israeli military searched the boat because obviously there's a blockade and they're not allowed to actually just breach the blockade, actually. All right, that's the funny thing. And so these are the 175 activists from 20 boats of the condom flotilla making their way peacefully to Israel aboard Israeli vessels because they were stopped. They were stopped by the Israeli military because obviously you can't come into the Israel country illegally or something. All right, so Netanyahu says this, and this is funny as shit. Well done to our Navy. I instructed them to prevent a Hamas-supporting flotilla from reaching the shores of Gaza. The mission was executed with complete success. No ship or no Hamas supporter reached our territory, not even our territorial waters. They were turned back and will return to their countries of origin. They will continue to see Gaza on YouTube. Honestly diabolical shit. Oh my God. Right, and guess who gets involved? Zoran Mamdani, mayor of New York City. Wow, I'm really glad he's taking care of New York's budget crisis. Last night, Israeli forces intercepted and boarded a humanitarian aid flotilla bound for Gaza in international waters off the coast of Greece, unlawfully detaining more than 175 people, including several New Yorkers. My team is in direct contact with the state and federal partners as we work to confirm the whereabouts and conditions of these New Yorkers. This is a brazen violation of international law. Those detained must be released. Except the funniest part about this is he thinks that if he just screams buzzwords to his audience of dipshits, Islamists, and woke retards, that it'll work. Except it does not violate international law. Actually, hilariously enough, if you look at the capture of neutral merchant vessels and goods, neutral merchant vessels are subject to capture outside neutral waters if they are engaged in any of the activities referred to in paragraph 67, for example, attempting to breach a blockade. So actually, it is perfectly legal under international law to stop terrorist supporters from providing aid to terrorists. Wow! Literally the shock of all time. Right? So these woke people are actually fucking retards. I would focus on this, though. Zoran Mamdani, a man just lit himself on fire and blew up an apartment in Queens. I would focus on that. Who knows? Who knows what ethnicity the perpetrator could possibly be? I'm thinking that probably a straight white Christian male. I think straight white Christian male is probably the most likely ethnicity of Mr. Anrup Parasram, who blew himself up. Personally, that's what I think. Anyway, Fatah, this is Palestinian people, officials in the Gaza Strip are accusing IDF of releasing trained rats to attack Palestinian children. Every day with these people. It's unbelievable. It's a genocide. It's a genocide. The rats are eating the Palestinian babies. You know, this is one of my all-time favorite lies. It's up there with Iran destroyed America's entire naval fleet and Israel is training dogs to rape Palestinian prisoners. So some of my favorite stories of all time. Now, what we did actually get was Hezbollah, the terrorist organization that murdered 240 of our Marines in Beirut, positioned a rocket launcher inside a civilian building. You know, we keep getting more and more evidence of this, actually. As you can see, there is a rocket launcher in a civilian building, which is a violation of international law, which no one fucking cares about when terrorists do it. And kaboom! And there it is. There it goes. Goodbye, civilian building. Get fucked, retards. No one cares. So anyway, these are the people that the leftoids are doing their absolute best to protect. And honestly, I'm not surprised. This is what we're dealing with. All right, so this is Cam Higby, an American journalist, investigator guy who's actually pretty based, it seems. Like, he cracked down on a lot of the Somali fraud and shit. and he was talking to this girl about Palestine and whatever, because that's what these activists care about. They don't care about the Christians getting massacred in Nigeria or Sudan or Iran or Syria or Yemen. They don't care about any of those people, but they really desperately care about the Palestinians that started a war and lost.
I'm using Palestine as an example because we are obviously living through that right now. Do you guys agree?
Where is Palestine? What countries border it?
I do not know. I will be honest.
It's so over, man.
How are you going to lecture me about Palestine when you don't even know where it is?
I don't have to know where it is to know that millions are dying.
Millions are dying!
Millions have not died. You're telling me that you have the most minimal information possible about the
Millions are dying! A population of 2.2 million, which, by the way, increased since the start of the Pretendicide. All right? It increased. All right, since the Pretendicide started, they had more babies than people were killed. All right, and millions dying.
I'm supposed to expect
Millions
that you're going to be able to inform me about it.
I
Millions
don't know
have not
where it
died.
is.
Not even Hamas claims that.
Yeah, so obviously we're dealing with absolute dipshit retards that are trying to rape and destroy our civilization, and we need to destroy them. And yes, that means that I don't give a fuck how strict Trump is on the Euro cucks that hate our way of life and are importing our destruction. Fuck these people. We are the most powerful nation on the planet, and you're gonna have to fucking deal with that. Deal with the consequences of not being our friend. Not gonna sugarcoat it. You're fucked, and it's all your fault. Now, every day, I'm grateful that we have a based government finally right now, and every day I wonder how this cockroach is still in our country. So this is HASAN PIKER posting the most performative picture of him of all time on a train. Hey, look at him, just making believe he knows how to read, reading Lenin, all right, him reading nice communist stuff. Isn't that beautiful? It's really nice, and the memes are glorious, because this is the most performative image of all time. Bro, like, they are actually killing him, and every single meme is completely accurate and appropriate. Keep leering how to stream, leer how to accept being gay, leer how to zap your dog for socialists. Just beautiful stuff. Man, like, these people are killing him. And honestly, the turn on HASAN is absolute cinema. All right, this guy was like a leftist darling. He is enemy numero uno. Uncreased spine. He may have used this book to beat a dog or something, but he certainly has never read it. And everyone is destroying him. All right, so this is Lenin in one hand and a Cartier $5,000 ring in the other hand. Wow, isn't that good stuff? That's right, HASAN PIKER, the Brian Griffin of politics. They are killing this bastard on the timeline. Now, Fox News has been going after him, the Democrats associated with HASAN PIKER. You know, like, they have been obliterating him. You know, because he's a terrorist-supporting, dog-shocking, alleged pedophile who's honestly evil and should not be in this country. He is the poster boy for why we need to deport communists and why birthright citizenship is a mistake. All right, and honestly, the more he gets prime time and featured with other Democrats, first of all, it doesn't grow his viewer base because I mean, people realize he's a gigantic piece of shit, and that's one. And two, the more people realize that the actual glaring problem we have in this country. So currently, he finds himself in quite a little bit of hot water, and he can't even swim. So he crashed out on Shoe on Head for making a video basically calling him out. He said that, why would gamers want families? Because gamers are unfuckable losers. Unfuckable losers shouldn't have families. And Shoe on Head is like, so let me get this straight. You, a guy who pays for sex in brothels, are gonna explain to gamers why they shouldn't want families? Like, I love how this guy is literally just an agent of the enemy, imported into our country by bullshit policies that need to get fixed, where he advocates to destroy Western civilization entirely every single day, on the most minute of levels. It's incredible. And I'm gonna show you, and he crashed out in a response. And Shoe on Head, of course, responded by saying, HASAN, when he's criticized and can't call the person a Zionist. No! Truly brutal stuff. And I will get there in a second. But first, he did this to everyone. Every single person. Every person that made fun of HASAN PIKER for saying that you shouldn't have kids because kids are, you're an unfuckable loser. Every single person that called him out on that, he blamed Israel.
Wanting to be a dad is weird. Oh my God. Do you guys not have any other fucking content? Jesus Christ, get off my dick, bro. Holy shit. How many more years of this, like, reluctantly attacking HASAN and then agreeing with his fucking primary focus?
No one agrees with you. You're gonna get deported. You're gonna go to jail. It's gonna be awesome.
Focus.
Netanyahu, if you can hear me. HASAN PIKER has 60% enriched uranium.
Reluctantly, 2 years after the fact, are we gonna do over and over again? No, they're not. I just don't understand. I don't understand.
I don't understand why people are criticizing me. All I advocate for is terrorism and the murder of people I don't like, and politicians should die, and we need to import infinite retards into our countries.
I don't think it's weird to want to be a dad, man. I'm talking shit about gamers, okay? Capital G gamers. Who are like weirdo fucking white supremacist incels who are like, yeah, this game is gonna
all gamers are white supremacists if they want to have families.
Repopulate the planet.
We're gonna get so why are you worried about, you know, whether or not women's biological clock is ticking? You got posted in a lot of gamer subreddits. Ooh, nice. You're a pragmatic, pissed off incels. You offended the pedos and the capital G gamers and the incels. Yeah, what they're offended by, I think, primarily is...
I love how first it started with gamers and now it's just incels and...
Yeah, dude, you got me. I was actually fucking attacking every gamer on the planet. Like, man, this is low budget bullshit. I don't even want to fucking entertain it, okay?
What? You just did.
Again, I can't explain this to you guys enough.
It's the
I got
Jews.
fucking government ops, okay?
It's a government op. That's right. Everyone criticizing Hassan Piker, it's a government op.
I got the entire propaganda apparatus of the nation state of Israel inside of my fucking asshole.
That's right. The reason why people are criticizing him for saying that gamers are unfuckable losers that shouldn't even hope to have families, it's because of the Jews. Israel's actually the one behind all of it. It's incredible. Michael Knowles says, I could think of several bases on which to prosecute Hassan Piker off the top of my head, and yet, shut your bitch ass up. This will be you soon, Hassan. This will be you soon. It's gonna happen. It's inevitable. All right, so we got to see this this drama, this shoe on head Hassan Piker drama. I love how every single community or anything that Hassan dips his toe in immediately scurries away from him like the cockroach he is.
Nothing says I'm confident in my life choices and beliefs than absolutely melting down over being lightly roasted for being a loser.
Bro, you were on the last shoe on head video. I will literally off with a gun.
You were in a shoe on head video. I will kill myself. Shoe on head doing more for the United States than anyone I know. No one has done what shoe on head has. Oh, he didn't kill himself?
If you bring that in here, okay?
Again, I don't call for violence. I don't endorse violence. But if Hassan Piker was killed brutally and in public, I would understand it. What's this clip of Hassan?
Private healthcare system had created for the average American, I saw so many people immediately understand why this death had taken place.
Right. So if Hassan Piker gets brutally murdered by someone that doesn't like terrorists, I would not endorse it. I don't want political violence at all. But I would totally understand why this death had taken place.
Today, Shoe on Head's new 30-minute video about video games and fatherhood briefly bashed Hassan Piker.
To make things worse, a grown-ass man saw another grown-ass man speaking about the normal human desire to want a family and want children one day.
But what if Hassan Piker wants you to go extinct? Did you consider that, perhaps?
And called him an incel, cockroach behavior.
Together as a little family, even streamers who say at the start they didn't want kids end up breaking down happy in tears. So what's really interesting about this is all of these unfuckable losers in the gaming sphere always talk about like starting families and stuff.
You don't have a family, but you want a family? Cringe. Cringe. You don't even have a family. Why are you talking about how you want a family? Hassan, you're not even in Palestine. And you make believe you care about Palestinians? That's hilarious.
And I don't understand like why this has become a thing that they care about. Like, if you're a gamer, you should care about things that you actually experience. You should care about things that
Hassan Piker cares about Palestinians losing a war that they started, but he's literally not even there. Cringe.
you actually enjoy, right? If you're a lonely gamer who has never been around a woman and will never have sex with a woman, why do you...
Hassan Piker literally pays for sex, by the way.
Care.
And I've never played on the Boston Celtics or caught a Pokemon, but I buy the same stupid game every year to pretend I do, because that's the whole point in playing.
It's the funniest thing in the world. Like, people need to actually explain generic human life to this motherfucker, because he's so in tune with terrorist cockroach tendencies that he can't even possibly fathom why people actually would want to have children.
Like, why do you care about having children or like riding for having children? Like, it's just not something that you're gonna experience ever for your life, for the rest of your
Bro makes believe he cares about Palestine and he doesn't even get genocided himself. I can't believe this.
your life, right?
First of all, the only care about something if it affects you is extremely libertarian coded, and also
It's pretty funny because like he makes believe he's like the communist guy.
very weird coming from a guy who understandably wants everybody to care about a genocide that is happening across the ocean.
Oh,
Second
shit.
of all, what is this nihilistic horse? You never aspire for anything, never aim for greatness.
Do not dream. Just donate money to Hassan PIKER so I can help destroy Western civilization. Thank you.
This is the dude the media wants us to believe is going to save young men from the
That's
alt-right
right.
pipeline.
Joe Rogan of the left to be like, actually don't have kids and kill yourself. Joe Rogan of the left be like, Zaps dog, you should kill yourself. Don't have children. Your life means nothing. It's irrelevant. Let's vote for Abdul El Sayed Mohammed Ali Baba for Senate so that he could promote the savior of Palestinian terrorists.
Okay. And I love how he's like, unfuckable losers. Like, okay, congrats on the sex, bro. Check out this sex haver over here. I'm sure all those unfuckable losers could easily go to foreign brothels and pay for sex like you, Hassan.
Bro.
Something weird about a man who could easily consensually get sex from a woman but chooses to go to a brothel. I don't know. Just saying.
Something I always thought was an unsubstantiated rumor, but since
Oh,
Hassan
no.
just had
Oh, that's a fact. Oh, that's a fact.
open his mouth about a video game, now all of Shu's 2 million viewers will know
Days.
about this.
I'm telling you, man, the best part about people platforming Hassan is the fact that normal humans actually get introduced to the fact that we have a birthright citizen, Turkish retard in our country that hates our country, hates our way of life, wants us to die. He said openly all Christians are fascist. Christianity is a fascist ideology. He supports the assassination of the president and multiple senators that he's called for the deaths for. He supports every terrorist organization you could think of, from the Islamic ones like Hamas, the Houthis, Hezbollah. He thinks the Houthis should get a Nobel Peace Prize. He loves all those guys. Obviously, he doesn't care that Hezbollah murdered hundreds of thousands in Syria. He doesn't care that hundreds of thousands are died of starvation in Yemen because of the Houthis. Doesn't care about any of that shit at all. None of that matters. He supports them because they're terrorists and they hate our country. He supports the cartels. He supports the Cuban communists that oppress their people. The more you learn about Hassan, the more you realize he's fucking evil. He is the cartoonish depiction of the foreigner coming into our country to subvert our lifestyle and destroy our nation. And it's so awesome watching the normies turn on him.
Suspect passed.
Also, 35? No kids?
Damn.
Like, I'm sorry, that just pisses me off. Like, sitting in his ugly ass $600 Gucci sweater.
True.
I swear I've never seen this guy in a fucking normal ass t-shirt. Sitting on his high horse, looking down at people for wanting something more out of life. I don't understand how someone could be so mentally mind-raped that this is their reaction to such like a simple, wholesome concept.
And all things considered, this is really just a light roast that shouldn't have prompted a response at all. As
It's really not, though. It's really not. She fucking killed him.
Shu did
He
briefly.
takes himself super seriously. Like, this is the dude that makes believe he's, like, fighting for the liberals and shit, and then he's like, actually, Crimea River. I'm so happy that Russia conquered Crimea from Ukraine. You know, he supports Chinese imperialism. He's not anti-imperialist. He just supports the other empire. Like, every single thing he supports is hypocritical. Everything. Because he just actually hates the West. That's his only ideological, honestly, line that follows through every single one of his policies.
Bring up this other streamer also being against having kids.
That's Hassan's girlfriend. That's why this roast was double good. Because the other streamer that's also about how, no, I actually don't want to have kids. Having kids is lame and gay. I hate kids and stuff because I was mind raped by gay college grooming teachers, and shit like that. That's Hassan's girlfriend.
I'm probably never having kids. I'm probably gonna play video games for the rest of my life. I'm probably gonna be as hot for as long as I can. And
The pathetic, nihilistic existence.
probably gonna keep making money. That's probably what's gonna happen for the next 40 years.
That's right, and she'll be miserable and die alone.
until people are just gonna keep being mad at me about it. Menopause is gonna hit me like a brick wall, but at least I will be getting the bag until then. You don't want kids? I'll do it whenever I want. I don't think I'm running out of time.
Absolute delusion.
And honestly, I don't know the difference between Pokimane and Valkyrie. Which one of them is rumored to be with Hassan, and I really couldn't care less.
Yeah, they're both retards. They're both retards pushing the anti-natalist agenda that's getting destroyed in real time by people that realize that having kids is fucking awesome.
But it might just explain why Hassan basically melted down
Oh,
over
yeah.
Shane's video.
Oh,
Or you
yeah.
were on the last Shoe on Head video, I will literally off with a gun.
Dude, Shoe on Head literally contributing so much more to American society than anyone gives her credit for.
If you bring that up in here, okay? Why? What do you want me to do? Do you want me to go out, purchase a shotgun myself in the face?
We can vote? This is like, is this a democracy? Hold up.
Not die in the process, but at least lose significant chunks of my brain.
Huge.
So I can operate at the same substandard, suboptimal IQ level that Shoe on Head and her dumb audience operates in, so I can do a regular response to that? Is that what you want me to do?
Yep, because this response was a lot more mature and higher IQ. Oh my god, this dude, he comes off as such a fucking loser every single time he opens his mouth. It's just absolute cinema.
Nothing says, I think she's stupid and irrelevant.
Yeah. This is beneath me, says the guy, melting down.
Then going into a tism-type tirade for multiple minutes about how little you care about her opinion that's definitely not ruining your day. I can't count how many
Your opinion matters so little to me that I will kill myself. Oh my god, this is fucking crazy.
times he and his orbiters have blasted statements I've made, but the thing about actually believing your enemies or idiots is you're not affected by idiot opinions.
True! Your boos mean nothing, I've seen what makes you cheer!
Boos mean nothing, I've seen what makes you cheer!
True! I get called out by the Hassan retards all the time. Hassan slanders me on his stream on a regular basis, and it means fucking nothing.
So if anything, this is just evidence that Hassan knows he's on the losing side.
The compelling argument that Shoe on Head makes, one that should have
Have
been...
you considered that Shoe on Head is getting paid by the Israeli government as some sort of gigantic op to make Hassan look like a complete fucking retard?
Left in the dustbin of history all the way back in 2016. Ooh, look at me. I'm an emo girl. And
Did he call Shoe on Head an emo girl? He lies as easily as he breathes. He doesn't even need to lie, and he still lies. It's like when he goes, he has called me a pedophile, which is not true, obviously. But he slandered me horribly to his audience of millions of retards and terrorists. All right, but he lies as easily as he breathes. He called Asmongold a mother killer, that he murdered his own mother. Also, obviously not fucking true. Like,
and
it's
I change
crazy.
my politics all the time. Ooh, look at me. As an emo girl, I look like that one meme on the internet.
So Shu says you got a creepy history with buying overseas, but Hassan's best clapback is, remember she used to look like a meme, and then maturing in motherhood made her see the world beyond or naive? Bernie Sanders can save the Democrat Party beliefs?
Oh,
Hassan just
bad.
looks like every emotional woman losing an argument.
Bro, that's what the left does. It turns men into effeminate retards.
As actually that sums up every single Hassan stream perfectly. Emotional lady lose an argument.
Why would you openly admit that you listen to Shoe on Head in 2026, man? What the is wrong with you?
No, I can't believe you would watch an entertaining video. No, she's emo.
Shoe on Head are basically a humanoid version of a Reddit aggregator. They just spit out.
I prefer a Reddit aggregator to whatever terrorist supporting slop drivel Hassan pushes out. Like, let me remind you, that dude, he's been ducking debating me for a very long time now. This dude is a ginormous fucking retard coward.
That they see on subreddits. So why the are you going there? You might as well just go to the subreddit directly and read all the commentary that they turn into video essays. Jesus Christ. What an unbearable fucking way to exist, dude. Oh, I'm getting all my politics from Shoe on Head.
Man, leftists eating each other has got to be my favorite meal.
Honestly, good luck, dude.
Which is just pure projection at its...
Shoe on Head was making fun of people that were retarded in regards to a video game. Hassan Piker, you want me to kill myself? Shoe on Head's emo.
finest. Why watch Shu when you can just read Reddit? When it's really, why watch Hassan when you can just read Twitter while chugging soy milk for yourself?
Bro.
And remember, this is just because Shu said Hassan's take on a video game was bad. But for it to hit him this hard, the whole not having kids must be really sensitive. Not just for him specifically, but to anybody still listening to Hassan nonsense. As Shu just proves that having your own family and finding happiness is the gateway away from these miserable socialist circles on the internet.
Straight facts, but also nothing in the world will radicalize you like having a family. All right, you're going to have a daughter, all of a sudden you're going to become pro-gun. All of a sudden you're going to be pro-gun. That's crazy. All of a sudden you're not going to want to import rapists from the third world that literally don't have anti-pedophilia laws in their countries. All of a sudden you're not going to want that. You know, nothing radicalizes you like a family.
The first episode of my old Hellworld series was actually all about police brutality. It was all about police brutality towards innocent protesters. I was a little more ACAB back then. I was a little more libbed the f out back then. But hey, to be fair to me back then, that is what happens when you live in the sheltered suburbs of Long Island in your parents' basement versus having a kid and living in the city for 4 years.
That's right.
The police are a taxpayer-funded HR department for structural violence. They exist solely to protect the rights of private property. Yeah, we need more police. Police are good. Police are great. Give the police more guns. More guns. Give them more guns. Tanks. Tanks, even.
As this is...
Yeah, she was anti-police, anti-gun, and then she had a family, and all of a sudden she's pro-police, pro-gun. What? What? Living in reality changes your perception on the retard bullshit, fake propaganda that's being shoveled down your throats online? What?
Isn't just a petty patter between liberal political commentators. It's Hassan's pathetic attempts to maintain relevance. As on one side, Hassan is losing his Twitch streaming audience to the Roach King. And on the other, the former normal liberals are aligning more with Shoeonhead, where Hassan is like a Minecraft streamer. His existing audience is outgrowing him while he's getting too old to bring in that new generation of listeners. And the saddest aspect
because his actual audience are fucking retards and terrorists.
About this is, everybody already sees it, except for him. So if you appreciate
Hassan actually thinks that he's going to survive this shit. He doesn't realize his viewer count is going down no matter how many media appearances he makes. No one wants to sit there and watch a dedicated, dog-shocking, terrorist, pedophile-supporting retard every single day for hours. Documenting his downfall is easily one of my favorite things ever. Man, my new favorite Hassan Piker quote is... A low IQ person made fun of me. You want me to kill myself? That's got to be my new favorite Hassan Piker quote. Up there with, we would totally understand why someone would kill Hassan Piker in public. I don't endorse it. I don't want it to happen. I'm not calling for violence, to be clear. But I would totally understand if someone would kill him. You know, people are really waking up to all of this. People are waking up to the Indian invasion of Texas, for example, now that you have cities that are over 33% Indian. It changes the actual dynamic and culture of our society. I'm not saying I hate Indian people or anything like that. Of course not, obviously. But they have a very different value system and culture than we do. And when we import them en masse, they have no need to assimilate. And, well, let's just say it turns little cities in Texas into India. An easy way to understand this would be, imagine if 33% of the United States population was Hassan Piker. Yes, it would survive a nuclear apocalypse, as roaches tend to do, but we'd be cooked. That's happening in Texas right now, with Indians.
As long as
I apologize in advance if I radicalize you on Indians.
Governor of this great state, Texas will be a land for the Indian community.
Yeah, so this guy, by the way, Greg Abbott, is the governor of Texas, and as I've mentioned before, his number one donor is a Pakistani millionaire or billionaire that donated $14 million to him.
We will continue to celebrate Diwali here in the great state of Texas.
That is right. They are now celebrating pagan holidays on a state level in Texas. Yep, sounds normal to me.
Time to vote this guy out because I can certainly
now, again, this is going to be probably a hot take because I know a lot of people don't actually like when I have these opinions, but I say them anyway because I don't lie about my opinions, unlike every other political commentator that makes believe that Tucker Carlson isn't some paid-off operative. Like, I see a lot of people focusing on, you know, the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not steal, and I totally agree. I think that's super important, but thou shalt not worship false gods is also up there. I'm not sitting here to criticize what Indian people do with their culture, but I don't think on a state level we should be doing that in a Christian nation.
you that Texans are not happy about the recent cultural shift that's been going on.
I wonder why.
As certain areas like Frisco have seen a tripling of the Indian population since 2010.
I love how it says 33% of them are Asian. 33% of them are Asian. Asian means Indian, by the way.
It says Asian, but they mean Indian. Yeah. If you've been to Frisco, you can easily see it's not flooded with Japanese people or Koreans.
That's
true. By the way, that was Governor Greg Abbott, who seems to be intent on selling out Texas to newcomers with a completely different culture.
All for a cost of $14 million from a Pakistani billionaire.
And as I said, the native Texas population is not too happy about the Americans' last ideology that's been coming from our political representatives.
Even Republicans, by the way. All right, these people are traitors, and we need to obliterate this entire system.
Frisco.
And that will not happen by voting Democrats, but it will happen by actually holding these people accountable in their primaries.
It's full of Indian people on visas whose allegiance is to motherland India instead of America.
That doesn't sound good.
There is massive H-1B abuse and fraud in Frisco, Texas, and none of you care. And it's not just you. It's every elected official in Texas. And who gets screwed over? The Texas residents. Literally nothing has gotten better in our state over the last 5 years. Our cities are unrecognizable and filled with foreigners on visas. Our property taxes are the highest they've ever been. Every single one of you is an embarrassment to our country.
I would also like to note that contrary to popular belief, Indians do not...
I'm telling you, man, the strong men in society are going to need to wake up, get the fuck out of bed, put on their big boy pants, and obliterate these motherfuckers. And it's happening. It's happening. We are actually fighting back, finally. People are facing absolute devastating losses, simply put, because they are supporting this America Last proposition where they seemingly are paid off by foreigners in order to import the third world. And it's both parties, honestly.
Speak English.
And that's because the mainstream Republican right now is like a 90s liberal, and we're going to need to get some radical fucking people in office. All right, and I mean some real-ass racists. We're going to need to bring them in.
I find that this point is often missing from this discourse, and while a few of them have good English, in general, the language proficiency of the average newcomer tends to be very low. God forbid you have problems with your internet and you have to explain technical issues to a guy with an accent.
Did you try turning it off and turning it back on? That's my Canadian accent, by the way.
Who clearly doesn't understand you. And if you don't believe me, then listen to this political ad.
लेकिन बहुत सालों से हमारी देसी voices politics में fully represent नहीं हुई हैं. मेरा नाम जय वांगनकर है और मैं जून 2 को कांग्रेस के लिए
full ass Indian ads, bro.
Election लड़ रहा हूँ.
What in the hell? How are you allowed to vote in America if you don't speak English? If this guy wants to run for office while speaking Indian, then he can do that in India. Oh, and of course, almost all of his endorsements are Indian, and also, what a shock. He wants to get rid of immigration enforcement.
They all do that. It's every single one of them. Every single time you have a foreigner, they all run on whatever the fuck they say. They make believe they're fighting for your country, and every single one of them wants to abolish ICE and bring in more people. You know, my priorities, gun control, immigration, you know, fear-based immigration policy tears community apart. Oh my fucking God. Why do we have foreigners in our government, man?
This is not a politician. This is a foreign invader catering to other foreigners, not Americans. And I think it's about time that Americans have really had enough of this shit. It's been nearly 40 years of everyone, left and right politically, saying that we don't want endless newcomers coming into our country. And well, speaking of legal issues, recently a jury ordered Meta and YouTube to pay millions for their role in designing and promoting addictive platforms.
That's pretty crazy. They are pretty addictive, actually.
All right, so of course, this is not to say that every immigrant or every Indian disrespects American culture or is a burden on the system.
Of course not.
A lot of immigrants are very respectful contributors to America.
Very true. That's why whenever someone like makes this a race issue immediately, you know that they're literally playing an unfair game, right? No one's out here fighting against every single person from every single ethnic group. All right, that is not the argument. The argument is if you bring in an entire community to the point that they have absolutely no way to assimilate, they don't even need to learn the language of our country, obviously that's not going to happen. And obviously they are going to prioritize their people. And it ends up getting actual Americans completely on the street. Good luck getting a job in Fresno, Texas.
As I've said in multiple videos, I am a fan of experiencing different cultures and learning how other groups of people operate.
Especially over there. Man, I love Indians, especially when they're in India. Those guys are great.
However, what I'm not a fan of is being forced to uptake a culture that's not my own, because born and raised Americans are quickly becoming a minority in my local environment. Personally, when it comes to all the newcomers flooding into America, legal or not, I really don't see any difference between an army invading the US and forcing their values on us while they take our resources, and tons of people crossing the border replacing American values as they wave the flag of their country of origin and consume welfare.
It's actually very simple. There is a very major difference between people just conquering us without us fighting back and people conquering us with us fighting back. The difference is whether we're ruled by men or we're ruled by women. When women rule us, they conquer us without a fight. And when men rule us, we do put up a fight. It's pretty simple, actually.
Motherland India or Texas, USA?
No, obviously Motherland India.
Obviously, I fucking hate this place. I'm just here to get the free shit that you're willing to give me.
Obviously Motherland India.
Hyderabad or Frisco, Texas more?
Hyderabad, of course.
Hyderabad, of course.
To clarify, 70% of H-1B visas are granted to Indians. H-1Bs are temporary work visas. They're supposed to be guests who work here for a little bit and then they go back to India. But because of fraud and stupid birthright citizenship, they can have kids while they're on their guest visas, and now those kids are American citizens.
It's such a fucking scam. It's crazy.
Like
we are the raped.
This is one of the many reasons why birthright citizenship to children of non-citizens should be abolished immediately. Anchor babies aren't culturally American because they aren't raised by parents with American values, which is causing a cultural shift.
Oh my God, it's the roach!
And reasons like this one in the next clip are why I don't want the culture of Texas or America as a whole to be switched to India.
Jugad, translated as hack or workaround. Effectively, the principle that being able to get around the rules and take advantage of the system is virtuous. A famous parable of
Yeah, I don't want to import people that have that opinion. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I don't. Following the rules is a very basic doctrine of biblical civilization, all right? A society based on a value system where you actually have to follow the rules, not just because of the outcomes of whatever you do, but because God said so. Thou shalt not steal is not just because it might affect the other guy, but because it is inherently wrong to steal. I do not want to bring a culture in that doesn't believe this, especially if they're large enough swaths of people that, that they'll just take over.
Jugad was when the British Raj attempted to solve a cobra problem in Indian settlements. In short, Indians were being killed en masse by a massive infestation of cobras.
That's bad.
So the British created a program. Anyone who killed a cobra and brought the officials their heads would be rewarded. But those who possessed Jugad saw an opportunity. They began to breed cobras, raise them, and then kill them for a reward.
I didn't know this story. You've got to be kidding me.
When the British saw how the system was being exploited, they ended the rewards. By the time the program ended, the cobra population had greatly increased, leading to an even bigger cobra problem.
Wild.
This is just one of the...
Wild. So you got scamming basically in the culture. That's fucking crazy.
Reasons why mass immigration from India, and much of the third world, by the way, is a bad idea. Basically, what this means is that people who have this mentality cannot be trusted with honor systems or be allowed into polite society because they will steal from the group to benefit themselves.
This is how I save hundreds of bucks every month in food and groceries. All these groceries for this week I got free. Most of the universities and colleges में food banks होते हैं, which are run by trusts, churches या फिर non-profit organizations. You can take as much as you want. सारे basic fruits and vegetables.
Bro, they go to churches and with like bags and just fill it up with food just because they want free food. Like, this is crazy. You know, like, this is something that I wouldn't even consider something like this. It wouldn't even enter my mind to consider it. All right? Like, you know? But like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, my God.
Pastas and canned vegetables.
You hear that? It's not even supplementary. He gets all of his food from the food bank. So, cool. We have a foreigner here who we've allowed into our country on a student visa who is teaching other foreigners the money-saving life hack of taking food that was donated to help needy Americans.
Wow.
This future highly skilled engineer at Tesla is trying to teach other future H-1B Tesla engineers to become welfare flunkies. How does this not result in instant deportation? It's simple. If you can't support yourself, we deport you.
I totally
agree.
agree.
Big problem with the Indian culture...
The thing is, these people could support themselves. In fact, this guy probably does. You know, a lot of Indian people actually do work very hard, but they still want to game the system, it seems. Like, that's the craziest part. It's like, it's not even about the supporting yourselves. See, I think there should be zero, my opinion is, there should be absolutely zero welfare or government funding whatsoever for foreigners at all. None. Zero. All right? And if you can't make it, you got to go. All All right, if you can't make it here, you have to leave. All right, in my opinion, that's very simple, and I think that's very obvious. There's no reason why we should have a system, a free lunch system, where the entire world wants to immigrate here, literally to rape us. Right? That's their stated goal.
It's being imported into America against the wishes of Americans is the culture of extreme self-enrichment at the sacrifice of the group, and their belief that it's virtuous to game the system, which is why they can't figure out simple problems like sanitation because everyone just dumps their trash everywhere.
Oh my god, dude, I didn't even think of that. But yes, it's the same mentality. The same mentality is white people need to use paper straws to save the environment while an entire country creates landfills of shit and garbage. All right, and we just have to accept that.
Where?
They say India is a very polarizing place. Some people love it, some people hate it. I think I'm leaning towards hating it right now.
Oh, no.
This is,
probably a white supremacist.
Disgusting.
Probably a racist or
it's
something.
the most polluted country
you don't like shit being in your food, you racist?
I've ever been in, hands down, not even close. This makes me want to hug a tree and become an environmentalist and hire Greta Thunberg or whatever the fuck her name is.
It's not that difficult. They don't even have to invent anything new. They just have to do what smart countries are already doing, but they can't do that because their cultural values
What the fuck is this video?
don't encourage it. Americans
They
don't
clean trains by just shoveling garbage into the street?
want those values here. Stuff like this reminds me that PewDiePie's most popular video is him making fun of India. So it's not just me and people on Twitter saying this stuff. The rate that India randomly catches strays is insane.
I feel the same with Indian though. Like I have to destroy the toilets after I get Indian. So I kind of get it.
I've always accepted that Indian does that.
India's never beating the contaminated food allegations. Remember when Sam Pepper drank something from an Indian guy and almost died? But these swipes even go across cultures. Westerners aren't the only ones saying these things. If you ask Japanese people, they've noticed too. Here's a video from interviewing
it's
Japan
another white supremacist.
and asking Japanese people what their impressions are of men from certain countries. Here's what these women say about India.
国の名前を読み上げると、その国に対してイケメンが多いというイメージがあれば、イケメンでお答えください。そういうイメージがない国なら、なしでお答えください。インド。
Bro! That's even worse than just saying no, bro. That's even worse.
インドなしで。インドに対してどういうイメージありますか？
なんか
Oh my
See,
god.
it's not just Americans talking about the smell. Oh, and as much as Indians are culturally disrespectful in America, they also disrespect Japan's culture by having a dance party on the bullet train. For those of
Dude,
you
when this guy, this is Think Before You Sleep that's making this video, when he made this video, he told me he was making it. And I was like, listen, man, I got something really good to say about Indians. And he was like, oh yeah, what? They're not Pakistanis. And he's like, I have not yet to reach that level of advanced racism. Oh my god.
who have not been to Japan.
Because, like, yeah, sure, they'll dance in a bullet train, but they're not gonna fucking blow themselves. This is why you should subscribe to my channel for more truth bombs.
And this is incredibly disrespectful. They literally tell you on every train in multiple languages to be quiet so people can work or go to sleep. You can actually see people through the door turning their heads in a what the fuck gesture. So personally, I see disrespect from newcomers as a consistent problem that multiple countries are having, and in my experience, the vast majority of the modern newcomers have zero intent on assimilating to American values.
True.
Tons of them take
and I think largely because we're a welfare state. Everyone knows that you come here to get free shit. So we're literally importing the laziest people that want to rape our country in the most entertaining and intriguing ways possible. I think we have to stop giving free shit to foreigners. Like, we literally do. It's insane.
Our welfare system. In fact, according to this graph, immigrants by percentage use more welfare than natural-born Americans.
That's insane.
This, of course, is ignoring the hundreds of millions of dollars being stolen by immigrants that's been reported by Nick Shirley so far. And last, they seem to be hell-bent on creating their own insular communities, which is basically saying, yeah, we want to do India, but with all of America's resources.
Why are you here in Frisco?
I had to. It feels like I'm still in my hometown.
Really?
Everybody from my hometown here is here.
Wow. So you moved all the way from Hyderabad, thousands of miles away,
To Hyderabad.
to Hyderabad in Texas.
Again, I see no difference between shit like this and an invading army stealing resources and changing the culture by force.
This is Savannah Hernandez in Frisco, Texas, and I have been hearing from quite a few Texans about the changing culture and demographic up in North Texas, so I wanted to come and check it out myself. And behind me is the Hanuman Temple, which was created here in Frisco surrounding the deity Hanuman. Now, I wanted to come to this area because, as you guys can see behind me, this is a residential area, and you have this very large, very intricate temple that is in this location where you quite frankly would not expect it.
I've actually read some of the Indian mythology, so I know who Hanuman is. The reason I know that character is because I'm interested in other cultures. So when I say this, let me be clear. I don't think that people should be legally punished for practicing a certain religion. That's why we have
it's a very similar take to me, it seems.
First Amendment in America. However, I think it would be incredibly stupid to legally import so many people that it changes the religious foundation of the country. Well, legally it might be a stretch considering all the fraud.
Honestly, what makes America the greatest country on the planet is the fact that it's built off of biblical values and doctrine. And crazy some people, jump scare,
wherever they come from,
do not uphold that same cultural value system.
Right, let's...
Based? I don't know who that guy was, but he was literally so fucking right.
Not forget that tons of the cool things that you see today, like the abolishment of slavery, were done and created by predominantly white Christian nations.
Yeah.
By the way, all of this is not to say that an Indian can never immigrate legally to America or practice their faith here, but let's not forget the types of people who made America what it is. We should not be importing so many people that it changes the culture of America, especially when these days it seems like most of the newcomers are just here to take for themselves and give nothing back.
That's the issue.
America is becoming more diverse. America is, celebrating our diversity. And our diversity is our strength. It is really important that we celebrate our diversity because it is the diversity that has made this America as great a country as it is.
How would this guy know? He's a foreigner who was born and raised in India. What a shock. He also wants to get rid of immigration enforcement. Diversity is a weakness.
Every single one of them. Every single one of them. We bring in an entire community of dipshits. The dipshit community elects super dipshit to be in charge of the other dipshits. And then super dipshit, in charge of the other dipshits, has some sort of voting ability, some sort of power in our nation over the natives. All right, which by the way, of course, are obviously the Americans. Obviously, we're the new Native Americans. I don't know if you got the memo. And they want to bring in more dipshits to have more power to control us further. It's literally every single one of them. It's all of them, right? And I see a lot of people being like, stop generalizing. Show me one. Show me one foreigner in our government that's not anti-ICE, pro-immigration. Show me one. You can't. You literally can't. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
Well, they're definitely...
And even the ones that are like claiming to be like pro-ICE, we just need to reform it in a way to give naturalization to like infinite retards. It's like, oh my God.
...of diversity is, diversity did not make America great.
Also, that guy tortures his dogs.
Christian Europeans, or culturally Christian Europeans, did. Christian Europeans ended slavery. Christian Europeans died for the right to free speech.
Yeah.
Christian Europeans are the reason why you have things like voting rights and economic mobility. I'm saying this because when dipshit politicians like this guy say diversity, it's actually a dog whistle for racism and prejudice towards white people and Christians.
Absolutely, 100%.
And also, diversity is a dog whistle for multiculturalism.
Diversity is a dog whistle for let us rape you, and if you don't like that we're raping you, you're actually racist.
Which is a system designed to bleed out the values that made America great.
Yeah.
Multiculturalism is cancer, and no country should accept it. You cannot have a thriving country by having like 18 different cultures operating within it. Though really, these days, it just means third world migrants. Look how multicultural Canada is now. Everyone's just Indian and Muslim. Very
Actually,
diverse.
an embarrassing country, I'm not going to lie.
Diversity of cultures within a country is trash. You either assimilate to the dominant culture and learn the language, or you get deported. And let me be clear on this as well. People should be allowed to speak foreign languages in America. We have free speech here.
Of course. You should just also speak the actual language of America.
However, if Americans have to start becoming bilingual just to get a job here because there are so many foreigners who don't speak English or refuse to learn it, then it's time to close the borders and start sending people home. If this guy wants to say diversity is our strength so he can help infinite foreigners illegally migrate to America by getting rid of border security, then again, I must say that this is why people who are foreign-born should not be allowed to hold office
100%.
Because they have a great track record of prioritizing their homeland over America.
It's all of them, man. It's every single one of them. That's why I'm against dual citizens in Congress and in government, of course, obviously. But dude, We have foreigners that come in and they preach value systems for their ethnic enclaves or their countries of where they come from. Obviously, and it's natural. And you know what? I'm not even blaming them. I'm blaming us. I'm blaming us for having this system that's so easily fucking exploitable because for some reason, people are playing onto the forgiveness-based wholesome tendencies of Christian civilization, just expecting them to be tolerant and accept literally everything that fucking happens in the universe. Love thy neighbor, it says. Yeah, but it also says a heck of a lot of things about destroying evil, making no peace with evil, you know, Deuteronomy, don't let the foreigner come into your country and rule over you. There's a heck of a lot more things than love thy neighbor in the Bible. And I think with this hyper-feminized society, we have enough retards that have been emotionally manipulated into thinking that, no, actually, I'm super wholesome by giving foreigners power over us.
And when it comes to Texas, there shouldn't be political signs everywhere advertising campaigns of people who are born and grew up in foreign countries.
You see people worshiping multiple deities, and the one that did stick out.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I'm really not. I'm not saying it should be illegal because we have freedom of religion in the United States, but I'm not a fan of it. I'm not supposed to sit here and make believe I'm a fan of people worshiping false gods and basically making it some sort of public state-sponsored ceremony, you know, supporting pagan rituals. I'm not a fan of idol worship, you know, to be sanctioned by the state.
Was the area where people were going to pray for...
They obviously have a different value system than we do. Obviously, you could see it. That's not a bad thing if it was in India. At all. I like Indian people in India. Those guys are awesome. They're amazing. But, like, what are we doing? Like, what are we actually doing? We cannot possibly expect this to happen. All of culture is downstream from religion. I know that this is a controversial take. All of culture is downstream from religion. It all starts at religion, and it moves into culture. And, yes, communism, I guess, could be some sort of religion or religious doctrine as well. I don't literally mean religion, even though I very much mean that, too. So therefore, different people with different religions and different value systems will have different cultures, and these cultures do not mix. They don't. So when we import people with cultures that are not possible or able to assimilate or integrate into our societies whatsoever, the only result is us becoming the raped.
Blessings of health and also for work visas.
Great, you can ask Shiva or Ganesha for a work visa.
That's crazy.
I like how their gods are welfare gods.
Oh my God,
and speaking of H-1B visas,
bro, the trains are crazy.
Everyone knows what's going on here. We aren't seeking high-quality doctors and engineers from India because America just doesn't have enough talent and because Indians are so much smarter. Anyone who's been on Twitter and seen the numerous videos
it's cheap labor
there are preventable Indian deaths knows this isn't true. I'm not sure if I want my engineers coming from a place where their biggest predator is modern infrastructure.
Bro, what the actual fuck, dude?
Imagine the wits of the guy who steps on the track after the train honks its horn.
Bro, what the actual fuck, man?
So we all know...
I am becoming more racist every day. I didn't think I could reach more radicalized levels, but here I am.
Why the H-1B work visa stuff is going on. It's because much like big farms and construction companies want to use cheap and low-quality labor from foreign illegals, big tech companies also want to use cheap labor from India.
Absolutely.
Is it a mystery why the Microsoft CEO becomes Indian and then suddenly tons of Americans get laid off?
It's a coincidence and you're racist for noticing.
Indians are hired to replace them?
You know, the current YouTube CEO is Indian too.
I mean, you want to call us racist.
Hi, my name is Ankita. I'm here to address...
Okay, Indian individual.
...the hateful and racist folks who feel confident and protected enough to come up here on the mic consistently across multiple meetings in Frisco, Plano, and Irving to disparage immigrants.
I absolutely hate the fact that this is happening. You know, God was right, actually, when he said in Deuteronomy that foreigners come into your country and then try to take control over you. He was actually totally right, actually. God W, I guess. Bro's so right. So consistently, it's insane. This is crazy. All right, we should not have a society where we have foreigners that were done the unbelievable honor of moving to the greatest country on the planet, and they're going to come here and virtue signal and dance on our graves talking about how actually we need to be more loving and accepting. Bitch, you're in our country. Be grateful. Oh my God.
People are watching these meetings from all over the world, and these racist remarks are going viral on social media.
I suggest you cry about it.
People are also observing the absence of an intervention. People come up here and disparage Indian immigrants with no consequences. I'm calling on...
Consequences to speech? Excuse me?
city council members to make it known that racism isn't tolerated in this room or outside of this room.
Yeah, why not? Why isn't racism tolerated? Racism is constitutional.
I mean, if she wants free speech restrictions and preferential treatment for Indians, then she should go back to India. But since we're getting competitive here, what's more racist? Texans saying, hey, maybe we should put a halt on immigration so people have time to assimilate, or an Indian CEO firing a bunch of Microsoft employees to hire his own in-group.
Oh my God.
Because that seems to be pretty damn racist to me, and that's exactly why we don't want these types of people in our country. They're incredibly racist and ethnocentric, and also, American workers should not have to compete with the...
Of course they are. And to an extent, it's natural. You know, to an extent, it's the natural, normal order of things. But like, we don't have to be the raped because of, we don't want to be, we don't want to be called racist.
Entire world in the job market. Americans should not be cheated out of a house because some guy in India who is used to sleeping in a mud hut will pretend to be an engineer for a fraction of the money.
Fraud has ballooned. So then you have like religious workers being invited on an H-1B. You have accountants being invited on an H-1B. These are not specialized skills. Colleges and universities create these wonderful, best and brightest computer scientists and computer programmers and engineers. After a 4-year college degree, we go through rigorous training. That holistic training that happens in the United States far supersedes what you find amongst the H-1B cloud.
Yeah, I've noticed that software keeps getting shittier and shittier, so I wonder why that happened.
Coincidence. It's a coincidence.
And where are all the leftist workers' rights living wage advocates on this?
They don't want jobs. That's the thing. They don't want jobs. They want communism to take money from the people that actually do work.
Curious how they're either silent or defending the H-1Bs. Why must we constantly lower the American standard of living to cater to foreigners who are very frequently not in this country legally? Because tons of these H-1B visas are fraudulent.
So we got a tip in our email inbox about a man here on an H-1B visa, supposed to be working some IT tech job, who is actually running a food truck company under his wife's name. Our tip said that this is like the basic H-1B, H-4 visa scam. The H-1B
deport?
worker comes in, he brings his H-4 dependent, his wife. These dependents who are here on H-4 visas are getting employment authorization. So the wife typically is getting authorization to work, opening up a bunch of businesses, and then the husband secretly runs them, even though it is illegal.
That is an insane scam.
Against the rules, H-1B visa workers are not allowed to work anywhere other than the place that is sponsoring them. Hey, Naveen. Hi, do you own this business?
No, my wife owns it.
Your wife owns it. Where's your wife?
She's at home.
She's at home? Well, what does she do for the business if you're working here and she's at home?
I'm not working here. I'm trying to help her set up something.
Well, just watch you take someone's order.
It's just so obvious, and they all know what they're doing, man.
There are many people like this guy, and Twitter has been exposing them constantly. Also,
citizen journalists saving America.
This.
And out of all the 50,000 plus visa applications, how many of those were legitimate?
There were, easily between 70 to 80%. That was my denial rate.
You should watch Tyler's video on this and the numerous work sites that he went to that were either people's houses or empty buildings, just like the Nick Shirley video on people scamming hospice care in California out of hundreds of millions of dollars. Meanwhile, Americans can't afford a place to live or food or medical insurance because insurance doubled in the past year.
I wonder why. You think it has anything to do with us literally paying for healthcare from illegal aliens?
I wonder if that's related to the hospice scams. But you guys do realize that stuff like this is a massive reason why you have a bunch of TikTok videos of people in their cars talking about how they can't get jobs or afford anything. Stuff like this graph that went viral on Twitter should be infuriating. We're all tired of politicians choosing other people over Americans.
What we need is leaders willing to fight for the American people, not for corporations, not for the idea of America, but for the American people. You have to fight not for Ben Shapiro's idea of the country of America, the notion of America as this collection of ideas. That's not what it is. It's Americans. You're not fighting for a paragraph. You're not fighting for a set of ideas, man. It's the American people who need your help.
Right. Japan is for the Japanese. Italy is for Italians.
Yep.
And America.
And America is for literally everyone. Welcome everyone. Oh my God. Oh my God. You have papers that say you're American? That makes you just as American as me. Literally, who falls for this shit?
For Americans. An American is a person who was born and raised here by other American citizens. It is not an H-1B work visa, and we should stop prioritizing foreigners over the native population of this country.
We live on stolen land.
Oh, she's back.
And that
Oh
land
my
was
god,
stolen
dude.
from-
You are literally an immigrant. This isn't your land either. It's so tiring. We are bringing people in from the third world that come to lecture us how we're on stolen land. Get the fuck out, dude. Well, why? Go to India. That's not stolen, I guess. Oh my god. Also, it's not stolen land, it's conquered land, and it's fucking awesome, actually. And now, it's the greatest civilization of all time, and it wouldn't be if not for the settlers that came from Europe. That's right, it's only the greatest nation on the planet because of the white man. I know that must suck to hear, but it's true.
Indigenous people. That is the legacy of this country.
Oh, so cry about it.
So then you better leave this country because you don't want to be the benefactor of thieves, do you?
I actually don't think that she cares.
I checked.
Again, words are used by leftists to manipulate you. They don't actually care about their values.
Not a Native American. Oh, right. I forgot. Moral consistency doesn't matter here because this is just a tactic to silence people who want to protect America's borders.
That's right.
First of all, nobody's...
Bro, be like, I want to bring in infinite Indians into the country. No, we need borders. Oh, but this is literally stolen land. But they don't care. They don't care. They don't care at all. They just want their through line of bringing in infinite Indians.
Illegal on stolen land. Canada belongs to native people.
Literally fucking cry about it and go home.
Their land was stolen.
Oh, so they play this same bullshit game in
They play this game everywhere. That's why so many foreigners fall into the trap of voting for leftists. Because they don't believe in the leftist policies or the leftist values, but they do very much believe that they want to bring in infinite people of their own ethnic group or culture into the country. So that's why they fall into this trap, and that's why they'll use these talking points, not even necessarily because they believe them, but because they want to bring in infinite retards.
Canada, too. It's like word for word the same doctrine. It's like they're admitting it's an invasion. That being the case, I'm not choosing foreign invaders who don't respect me over my own country's people. You can take that foreign accent right back to where you came from.
Reality is the hundreds of thousands of kids who are graduating with massive college debt, hundreds of job applications. They're being looked over for people who are not us. Apple and Google might win, but America will be worse.
Right. Why are these jobs not going to people who live here? Again, their excuse is, well, we just don't have enough talent.
Bullshit, dude.
Don't have enough talent?
There are so many people that want to get a job but can't because they're just hiring people from the third world that they could keep as like little indentured servants that will work really fucking hard and never want to get fired.
Training Indians here on F1 student visas and then transitioning them to H-1B work visas.
No shot.
I came here on F1, but then I converted to H1.
They're bringing them in to learn here how to become engineers, and then they convert to be foreign workers.
And so you came on F1 and then graduated to H1?
Yeah.
How hard was that process?
It was cool, actually.
Most people who come here on an F1 have the intention to get an H1?
Yep.
Yeah. Do you think that's fraudulent?
No.
No.
Because it is valid that you can convert from H1 to H1. That is the reason most of the people come here.
But isn't F1 just for people who are coming here to study and not to work?
Yes.
Do you think it's a bit of a fraud to come here to study and then end up...
Go back too.
Did you go back before you got the H1?
No.
Instead of training foreigners, how about you train Americans?
No.
How about we cancel the vast majority of these dumbass liberal arts programs like gender studies that just put people in debt?
True.
And make college only about fields that are actually needed.
Bro, that would actually save a generation of women.
What happened to company apprenticeships? Companies like Northrop used to train you to be an engineer.
We built the jobs. You're telling the people who built the jobs we can't do the job. So it almost sounds like a scam.
And also, if you're going to claim that we need workers from India because there aren't enough Americans, which is a lie, but pretending that it's not a lie, you get this loop where the solution creates more of the problem, because if I have to worry about Microsoft replacing me with an Indian, then I'm not going to train for years to become an engineer. So why aren't they doing obvious stuff like training Americans? Well, that's easy. It's because they want cheap labor.
The idea that these tech guys want to bring in exceptional people is just not true. They're looking to hire basically slaves who can't leave their company without leaving the country, who will work for 50%.
This is basically indentured servitude that puts employees at a massive power disadvantage, because if you ask for things like raises, they can just deport you. They also are a lot less likely to job hop, which is often how engineers and programmers actually get paid what they're worth. Wait, are H-1Bs even allowed to change jobs? And again, with this in mind, it is really shocking to see the woke left caping for mass immigration when they have done nothing but scream about living wages and employers paying their
But they don't care, though. It's all a weapon. Their words are weapons. Understand. They don't care about the things they're fighting for. You think they care about Palestine? Bro, they don't give a shit about Palestine. They support the Hamas terrorists that started the war and that use these Palestinians as human shields, that starve them and rape them, all right, on a daily basis. They support those guys. They don't care about Palestine. But Palestine is a really good weapon to attack evil Western culture, all right? And that is exactly what they do with all of these things. They don't care about the things that they actually fight for. They want to tear down Western civilization because they've been groomed into the ideology that it's evil.
Share. Wait to continuously stand in the way of employee bargaining power so you can virtue signal with your stupid luxury beliefs on immigration. But like I've said in many videos, workers' rights and border security are a bipartisan issue that most people agree on. The only ones who disagree are the foreigners who are benefiting at the expense of Americans, and a handful of mentally insane liberal arts majors who have less economic value than the local waitress. Oh, and politicians who are trying to get votes. The constant suggestion that we need to flood in millions of foreigners to solve our problems when there are plenty of simple solutions is ridiculous. And it's crazy how often they use the exact same excuses for open borders in seemingly every country to try to make up for how massively unpopular that these policies are with the general public. In Japan, they say they need open borders because of the birthing crisis. They say that in America.
And the craziest thing is the birthing crisis is totally manufactured by the left too. All right, like they invent the birthing crisis. They teach women to get jobs and work until they're in their 30s, and then maybe consider settling down if you're not a girl boss. All right, don't think about getting married while you're actually fertile and have children. Right? No, of course not. That would be failing and succumbing to the patriarchy, which is bad, by the way. All right, and, you know, it's preaching this entire lifestyle that honestly destroys civilization. You know, abort your children, castrate your children, transition your gender, you know, be as gay as you possibly can. And the gayer you are, the more benefits you'll get in libcuck land. All right. And honestly, that's part of the major reason why the birthing crisis is so bad. And you need a 2-family income. You're not able to survive just on one person actually working for a living because now about everyone works. Equality is so good. Right. And this entire ideology exists to rape us. It exists to prevent us from having children. And, well, what's the through line? Where does that lead us to? Well, now we need more people. We're not replacing ourselves. Guess we have to import infinite retards from the third world. And they'll all vote for leftists, because the leftists will keep pushing the anti-natalist propaganda to import more retards from the third world.
And look here. Germany, they say that they need more immigrants because of low birth rates. Wow, how did birth rates become so low in the West? It's almost like that's the natural result of decades of stupid activists promoting anti-natalism.
True.
With messages like saying that women having children is not valuable, or calling stay-at-home mothers...
Which is insane! It's insane. You know, the most pro-woman thing that you could possibly do is be like, oh my god, you have children, that makes you awesome. It's like the fact that, you know, like being a stay-at-home mother and raising your kids or having children is looked down upon by society has got to be one of the biggest ops of all time throughout all of human history. It's like, you're making $200,000 a year? That's respectful. That's really awesome. You have children? Oh, you failed at life. What the fuck is that? Having children is worth way more than making $200,000 a year. And it's like, you're demeaning women by just saying they're baby factories, just saying that they're creating life and the next generation of our civilization? What? I respect women so much more than all these activists that are teaching them to be miserable and alone.
There's a bunch of dumb losers and saying that a woman is only valuable if she does what men do. If she works in a chem lab, she's strong and empowered. If she provides a great home environment for her kids instead of throwing them in daycare, well, then she's a loser who is being exploited by her husband. These types of feminist messages have destroyed Western culture.
Oh,
It's made people think it's uncool to have children.
Yep.
Worse yet, they often relate kids to being parasites upon their parents' lives or the planet.
God, there's so many of these too. Want to fight climate change? Have fewer children.
This anti-natalist message is quite possibly one of the most evil propaganda campaigns going on in modern history. How many people have been told that their life is over when they have kids? How many future parents have been told that they are selfish people who are destroying the environment if they want a family? But you know what's really helping reverse that propaganda? Video games. Recently, a game called Pragmata has been trending for its positive framing of parenthood between a male lead and a robot girl who hacks stuff for you.
She is so cute, and I don't even like kids, but I like her.
Thanks for talking to me all the time.
Did she give me a gift?
Ta-da!
Is this supposed to be when we first boarded the tram?
Uh-huh. I drew it.
Yeah. The woman in her natural state wanting babies. But, well, society told her that she'd be worth more if she's miserable and alone forever, so hey, fantastic alternative options out there. It's so incredible how every single leftist ideology, every single policy on the left is literally the most anti-God policy you could possibly think of. You know, the Bible says be fruitful and multiply, all right? And then the left is like, actually, you shouldn't have children, right? The right says, you know, the Bible says thou shalt not murder, and then you got the left being like, no, actually, 1 million abortions a year. The Bible talks about, you know, all sorts of gay sex and cross-dressing and shit, and that becomes literally on the banners of the Pride, one of the 7 deadly sins, parades. The Bible says thou shalt not steal, you know, because private property exists, and then you got like all the communist shit. No, every government should own literally everything and take money for the people that earn it. Every single policy on the left is literally anti-God. And so when I say that the left is evil, all right, and people like Shoeonhead call me out on that and say that, oh, Nux just says leftists are evil. They are evil, bro. Every single one of the policies are satanic, and it is leading to the destruction of our civilization, and they're replacing us. They're replacing us with pagans, bro. It's so obvious. Oh, no, but that's a conspiracy theory that is literally happening right in front of our eyes. I must be alt-right. Well, you know what? I'd rather be alt-right and have children and a family and a next generation that could live in a beautiful country than be a leftist that commits suicide of depression on millions of drugs, castrated and dying, with no loved ones, no family, and no purpose to anything. So I'll pick alt-right over the gender-fluid suicidal soup that you guys are promoting right now. I would say see y'all on the other side, but I don't think I will. Anyway, that was me covering all the things, every single one of the things that happened in like the last 24 hours. We got the Indian invasion, Democrats sucking, New York City falling to shambles, all of Europe basically getting so cucked that Donald Trumpanor had to step up and kick their asses, colossal Supreme Court W's. Things are changing, people are waking up, strong men are actually starting to do things in society again, which is really awesome and absolutely pivotal to the future of our civilization. The fight will not be easy, but we are going to win. Definitely subscribe every day. Another deep dive. Thank you so much for all the support, guys. You guys are actually beautiful and incredible. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.